Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. All know, shop don't close, working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is.
FYF Sports, man, it's Lamar. We back. Y'all see the topic of the day. We got to talk about it. And the only reason I made this topic is because the comments. I just been seeing in the comments, man. And even when we did our live scoreboard yesterday, it was a long conversation between some of the subscribers and, people just continuously giving praise to players that ain't really earned it. I mean, You got good players in this league, and then you got great players in this league. And Mike Butter said it correctly. I mean, you got good players: Allen Iverson, Barkley, Ewing, Mello, McGrady. Those are good players. I don't know if they'll be considered the greatest at anything. And it's just funny because when you look at some of the people on the thumbnail, like people will be quicker to give props to a guy like Charles Barkley than they will be to Bill Russell. And why is that? And then when you bring up the fact that Bill Russell was a champion, a better winner, a better leader, a better player, really, in all aspects, then they say, the players in that era were weak. I think that's a very weak argument to claim that the players of a certain era was weak when you didn't even play in that era. And a lot of the people who run around saying that certain eras were weak are people who don't even hoop. So you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just saying something that you heard somebody else say. Now, to say that the players now are bigger, faster, stronger, yeah, that's true to a certain degree. Bigger, faster, stronger just means bigger, faster, stronger. It doesn't necessarily mean better. Not in all circumstances. It helps, but it doesn't always help. It's not the end all be all to basketball. This isn't weightlifting. It's still basketball. It's still some skill, a level of skill to the game. But one of the subscribers, y'all know who he is. His name is Joe Bond 247. Continuously talking about Carmelo Anthony. Just this ultimate praise for Carmelo Anthony. We know that Carmelo Anthony's probably going to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. He's going to go down as a good player. But Carmelo Anthony's not going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. He's going to go down as a good player. But he's not going to go down as the greatest of all time because he never won. Nor did he put his team in a winning situation. And generally, teams that put their teams in winning situations year after year after year after year after year usually find themselves winning at least one or two championships. And that's the goal. And Let's Talk says, is Ticken and Lamont beefing? No, Let's Talk. I can't beef with other YouTubers. I can't beef with a YouTuber. That's not real beef. There's no such thing as beef. Now, does he get upset because I put down the max ether on him and he has no rebuttal? Yes. I do that with a lot of people. A lot of people just can't rebut facts. So as opposed to trying to come back with an actual rebuttal, they just start crying and throwing a tantrum. That's what Ticket does. I mean, again, it's all cool over here. No hate. But some people can't take it Mac ether. Some people can. It just happens. That's what happens in this game. It's FYF Sports over here. Forget your feelings. If you can come max ether me, I'm not going to cry and throw a tantrum about it. Not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to kick you out the stream. I'm not going to block you. It is what it is. Maybe you can go make a video on giving me a max ether. That's all it is. It's very simple. But when we look at all these players, y'all, Kyrie Irving is a champion, but I'm going to put an asterisk by his being a champion. We got Kyrie Irving. We have Carmelo Anthony. We have Allen Iverson, guys like that. It was, one of the saddest things to me was when you look at a guy like Paul Pierce, who really did it, in the words of 90s fans, he did it the right way because he didn't really go bouncing from team to team. He stayed with one team for the majority of his career, and he actually won a championship with the Boston Celtics. Look at how the man retired. He didn't get no farewell tour. They didn't give him nothing. They didn't give him no, fancy celebration going from game to game. But look how they treated Vince Carter. Vince Carter, one of Vince Carter's a good player. One of the biggest losers with regards to the game. Never led his team to anything. But Vince Carter got one of the craziest farewell tours that one can get. And even though the pandemic cut the season short, look at how they let him in his career on a high note. Paul Pierce retired from the league. You had players talking trash to him, laughing at him because he wasn't getting a farewell tour. I mean, look, and these are two players came in the league around the same time, played around the same time, but there's striking differences between their games. Vince Carter had the flash, had the frill, had the dunks, but not the winning, not the leadership. Paul Pierce had the boring old man style game. Didn't nobody really like to see it, but he eventually and ultimately got it done in Boston where he was drafted. But he gets no credit for that. And people don't even talk about Paul Pierce being one of the greats. Yeah, I mean, George Garber, that's correct. They disrespected Paul Pierce on his way out the door. So when I make a video and I'm talking about, I think Carmelo Anthony needs to go ahead and hang it up, because this ain't the Carmelo Anthony that we know and love. The Carmelo Anthony that we see right now in Portland is just is really an average player. He's really an average player. Because when you can say that players like Robert Covington, when you can say that players like CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic are more valuable than you, then you know it's time to hang him up. Yes, he may have he might have a good breakout game every now and then, but that's what role players tend to do. That's the difference between the stars of this league and the role players. The role players can maybe have a good game 1 out of every 10 to 15 games. Stars of this league are doing it every day, night in and night out. The Hall of Famer, as we know it, Carmelo Anthony, is no longer there, nor did he have a career where he actually won. See, Mingo Jester, and salute, thanks for coming in. See, he's one of those guys. And see, I'm gonna explain to you guys the hidden agenda too, because when you look at all of these players, when you're talking about the AIs, when you talk about the Carmelos, when you're talking about the Chris Webbers, all of these guys who were perennial losers throughout their whole career. Oh, look at Joe Bond. Look at Joe Bond 247. He said Mello is a top 5-6 man this year. So Mello, who was at one point in time one of the superstars of this league, is now relegated to the role of being a 6 man on a team that very well might not make the playoffs this year if other teams catch him. That's what he is now. This is what we mean. Go out being the player that we know you were. Some of these guys be hanging on too long. Carmelo, we saw the best of Mello. The best of Mello couldn't get it done. The best of Mello was a good player. The best of Mello was an exciting player to watch. The best of Carmelo Anthony was not a championship player. The same goes for Allen Iverson. The best of Allen Iverson was fun to watch, breaking people's ankles. And I don't care that he was a little man of the league. I don't want to hear that as no excuse, right? Because being small and being light on his feet, being quick as hell, that's what allowed him to break so many people's ankles. I don't want to hear that stuff about his size. Oh, Joe Bond 247. So he says Lonzo Ball's an all-star playing at an all-star caliber this year. You continuously, Joe Bond, I don't know why you continuously look at NBA basketball on one side. What makes Lonzo Ball special is his defense. Now that his offensive game is caught up with his defense, now he's doing it on both ends of the court. He's elite defensively, and now he's become elite from the three-point line. So now his offense caught up. He's being able to attack the rim better. He's making his free throws. See, I look at both sides. So you keep talking about shooting splits. Mello's a natural scorer. Why Mello never became a champion is because he never he was always a good enough scorer to make it look good, but he wasn't a good enough scorer to become a champion, even when he had good teams. And he's had good teams. He had good teams both in New York, where they choked against the Pacers, and he had a good team in Denver with Allen Iverson, Chauncey Billups, and those guys, and then they choked down there too. When Carmelo Anthony's when his own teammates come out talking about his selfishness, talking about how he was all about getting his points. Even if they lost, if he scored his 30, he was happy. But if they won and he only got 20, he'd be moping around the locker room. That's not a championship mentality. So you are right in the sense that he has a six-man mentality, because that's what six men in the league do. Six men of the NBA go out looking for their stats. They go out trying to pad their stats, trying to make it look good. I mean, when we look at guys like Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, they both were 20-point scorers last year. That's what six men do. So you are right in a sense. His role with the Blazers is what he mentally is, a six man. He's mentally a six man. So in a sense, Joe Bond 247, you are right. Nah, Lord Gamer, let that situation go, man. Come on, let it go. You got caught up. That was funny though. It was funny as hell. And I'm glad you came back, because a lot of people wouldn't have came back. But you don't explain it, Lord Gamer, man. It was funny. We all moved on past it. Don't make it funnier by trying to deny it, man. You just got caught up. All right. Oh, and by the way, Lord Gamer, that dude messaged me back on Pinterest too, so I'm gonna try to get him on the show, because I think he gonna have some words with you. He didn't like how you was using this picture. Lord Gamer. He gonna be on the show this weekend. So we're gonna have a Lord Gamer, and we're gonna have a Lord Gamer debate with the man whose identity he stole on YouTube. So that debate is coming this weekend. I told you, hey Natalie, it was crazy. It was crazy. So Mills Moolah says, who's better, Mello or Wiggins? Well, right now, Wiggins is a better player. I mean, Mills Moolah, that's just being honest. Right now, Wiggins is a better player than Mello. Why? Because Wiggins is younger, one, and Wiggins can play both sides of the court. This is one of Wiggins' best years in the NBA, because he's actually scoring less than what he was doing in Minnesota. But this is one of his best years in the NBA because he's actually playing defense. Joe Bone, 247. Now he's talking about offense again. Averaging 19 again. Okay. All right. Offense. I guess it's all offense for you. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, if he was so great, go ask Carmelo Anthony why he took a minimum contract to stay in the NBA. If he was so great, then how come all these teams wasn't banging down his door to come sign him? You saying all these NBA teams are stupid, or do you see something that just no other NBA executive, GM, or scout sees? See, people be trying to think that y'all really think that NBA teams be paying these scouts and executives and these trainers millions of dollars a year so that they could pass up on players like Carmelo Anthony? Or do y'all just think y'all smarter than these people? Y'all think y'all can do y'all job better than these people? Grindhard Sports Nation, yes, he's helping to carry Portland's offense. Okay, he is to a certain degree, but he is not the offense. He's not the system. We're used to Mello being the guy that carries the team, being the offense. Now he's relegated to a role where he's helping carry along the offense, and he's not really doing a very good job at it because they're struggling to win games. I don't even know if they pulled out tonight's game against the Pelicans. They may have, they may not have. But we know whose team that is. That's CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard's team. Now that CJ McCollum is back healthy, do you guys think that Carmelo's going to have that elevated offensive role, or is his offensive role going to now lessen because CJ McCollum is back? Let's be for real. Like let's be honest now. If he was really that guy, if he was really that same offensive force that y'all talking about, then his role within the offense wouldn't change just because CJ McCollum's coming back. He's not the same player. And Joe Bond 247, he already said it. He said Mello is doing a great job as like a sixth man for that team. And he made a good point right there. When you really look back on Carmelo's career, he's had a six-man mentality his whole career. Chauncey Billups is the one that exposed it. Chauncey Billups is the one that said he was only all about scoring his points and really didn't care about winning. So when his own teammates cook him to that degree on that, when you put a guy like Carmelo Anthony alongside another perennial loser like Allen Iverson, and what happened to that team? You have the number 1 and the number 2 scorers in the league, Joe Bond. Since you love scoring, that year in Denver, they had the number 1 and the number 2 scorers in the league. They got bounced out in the first round. Please explain that one. You got your favorite player in Carmelo Anthony and probably one of your other favorite players in Allen Iverson playing with Detroit. And let's not act like they didn't have a good supporting cast, because they had a great supporting cast. Oh, let me bet that you say you're going to blame coaching next. All that scoring didn't give you nothing but a first-round playoff gaff. See? All this scoring. See, Joe Bond continuously talks about, oh, he scores, shooting splits, that. Okay, yeah, we're not saying he wasn't a great scorer. I said he was a great scorer. I'm talking about championship level mindset. See, I'm talking about championship level mindset. Right? Steph Curry gets no props. He gets none. During a couple months ago when you had people running around saying that Allen Iverson was better than Steph Curry, what's the difference between Steph Curry and Allen Iverson? It's the championship mindset. The championship mindset. See, Iverson didn't have a championship mindset because if he did, then he wouldn't allow all of those off the court issues destroy his career. He wouldn't allow his ego get in the way of his role. See, Iverson didn't want to relegate himself to a lesser role, even when his game was fading. Double E. Thank you. You say it right there. That makes me think this is why I think the Nets will not survive through the playoffs. When I look back on that Denver Nugget team, they had the number 1 and number 2 scorers in the NBA. People like Joe Bond 247 would look at that and be like, oh, they're winning it all. They got bounced in the first round. And then you're running around, looking around, talking about what's the excuse? Who we blaming now? Well, Tracy McGrady's on my list of losers too, Joe Bond. Tracy McGrady's on the list. He didn't get out the first round. Great scorer. He had a scoring mentality. He didn't have a championship mindset. He didn't have a championship mentality. See, the championship mentality, when you look at players like Tim Duncan, by the way Tim Duncan played, you can tell that he didn't just care about scoring. Because if the team needed Tim Duncan to be the best defensive player on that team and sacrifice his scoring, he would do that. If he needed to be a scorer, we've seen him average 30 a game in the finals to be a great scorer. If he needed to be the facilitator from the high post, he sacrificed his numbers to go do that. He was versatile. He even sacrificed money just to stay in San Antonio and to put pieces around him so he could have a championship team. That's a championship mindset. That's why he's going to go down as one of the greatest, and he is the greatest power forward of all time. It's the mindset. When you look at a guy like Draymond Green, all right, people say, oh, why is he getting $100 million? Well, look at the sacrifices. Early on in his career, didn't he sacrifice money so that they could sign a guy like Kevin Durant? He sacrificed money so they can bring in better talent, right? So he could become a better facilitator to win championships. On top of the fact, he'd already won a championship before KD even came. Coming out of the second round, out of Michigan State, he started off on a Michigan State team where he wasn't even getting playing time. Then he turned into the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year once he got into the rotation. He went from the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year to the National Player of the Year in college, leading his team in scoring. He did whatever Tom Izzo needed to win. That's what I mean. And I'm not even what I'm talking about. See, because I'm not including Chris Paul into this. I'm talking about the players like Iverson and Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. I'm talking about guys from so-called fans. Like Carmelo Anthony has this cult-like following of people that claim he's. I mean, you have some Carmelo Anthony fans that are stupid enough to say that he's better than LeBron James. You have some Allen Iverson fans who are so delusional they'll say that he's better than Steph Curry. That's what I mean. There's nobody. Chris Paul is Chris Paul, but he doesn't have a delusional fan base running around saying that he's this great guard better than what we see. We know that Chris Paul is great. And Chris Paul's done some great things in his career. He hasn't gotten over the hump yet, but he doesn't have a delusional fan base hyping him up bigger than what he is. Steve Nash doesn't belong on this list either, because he doesn't have that cult-like fan base running behind him, propping him up bigger than what he is. There are a lot of Steve Nash fans. Even Steve Nash has came out and said it publicly himself that he felt that one of those MVPs should have went to Shaq. That doesn't make him less diminish his game or not, because he went out on the court and did a lot of great things. But he doesn't have this cult-like fake fan following of people like Joe Bond 247 who just talk about shooting splits. All right, Joe, I really want to see you start breaking down some of these defensive splits for some of these players that you be propping up, because you show enough, you conveniently forget about the defensive side of the ball with a lot of these people, and starting with LaMelo Ball. Because when the season ended last year, there was so much hate talk for players like Draymond, Alonzo, Ben Simmons. All right, now Ben Simmons this year is the odds-on favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. Can't nobody really talk about his game, especially after he dropped 42 on the Utah Jazz. So he's doing it on both sides of the court. Lonzo Ball stepped up his game. He's still elite defensively, and now his offense is catching up. You can't say nothing there. It seems like every other night Draymond Green's dropping a triple-double. Well, you can't say nothing about Draymond Green. This man is goddamn dropping triple-doubles and 15 and 19 assist games all over the place. Well, damn, we can't say nothing bad about him. See, where's the balance? And what I mean is, where's the balance? If you're going to be a fan of the game, be a fan of the game and appreciate greatness. Don't matter, Joe Bond 247, if he has one career 40-point game. People say that Ben Simmons can't score the ball. And if you say that Ben Simmons can't score the ball, he goes out and drops 40 on you, that's a problem, because only idiots. You won't find one NBA player in the league who's going to tell you that Ben Simmons ain't a force on the offensive end of the court. Ain't no NBA player that's stupid. Come on, man. Let's not even talk about that. Anybody who watches basketball knows that man is a force on both sides of the court, and is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. This is over guys like Miles Turner and Rudy Gobert. And Miles Turner really ain't getting enough credit for what he's doing in Indiana, leading the league in blocks. Where's the balance? First you have to prove to me that Ben Simmons sucks on offense, because really offensively, the only thing bad that you can say about Ben Simmons is that he struggles with his jump shot. When you're talking about offense, you have facilitating. Some great offensive players are great facilitator. That makes you valuable on the offensive end. He's a great passer. An assist is a point. So I'll take those all day. He's a great finisher at the rim. He's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. All right. He's not going to go out there and take 30 shots, but he can take 15 shots. He can make 9 or 10 of them and still get 20 to 30 points. All right. He's efficient at what he does. So the one thing offensively that Ben Simmons is he's highly efficient, on top of being, why do you think this team is still winning games even though Joel Embiid is hurt? Come on, y'all. Ben Simmons is overrated, then you got to come prove he's overrated. Because when he wins Defensive Player of the Year, is you going to still say that? People who say stuff like that don't play basketball or watch basketball. First of all, Ben Simmons isn't really rated because nobody's overrating him. No one's saying that he's top 5 in the NBA. We're just saying that he's a great player. And fans like Joe Bond, who only talks about offense don't respect what he does good on the court. You say he can't shoot outside of 5 feet. All right. So how is he dropping all these 20 and 30 and 40-point games? He had a 40-point game. He's in multiple 20-point games. He's scoring double digits every night. So there's a lot of players. Shaq couldn't shoot outside of 5 feet, but he was one of the most dominant offensive forces that we've ever seen. Let's just not relegate it to shooting. This is a different game. He's 6'10". He's a 6'10" player. If he was in the 90s, he would be a center. So if he was having this type of dominance and efficiency in the 90s, you would call him a great player. But because in this era, a guy who's 6'10" can also be your point guard, now you guys say that every single point guard needs to be an elite shooter. So does elite shooting qualify you as a point guard? Is that what makes you a point guard, elite shooting? There go Mac Def. Nobody's comparing him to Magic Johnson either. And the fact that the only other guard you can go to compare him to at his size is Magic Johnson, that just tells you how great he is. Come on, nobody's saying I didn't even say he was top 10 in the league. I'm just talking about how you guys are so delusional with regards to what a good player is. You guys couldn't even break down. And I want you guys to all come in. I want you guys to break down all these players that you don't like. Can you break down what they do great? And all the players that you do like, can you break down what they don't do well? But see, I shouldn't have asked you now because now you guys have the power of Google and you're going to try to hit Google up and you're going to be reading me some Wikipedia stuff that don't make no sense when you're trying to read it off the screen. Mingle Justice says Steph Curry's getting blown out every other game. Okay. You could say that. All right. But they are talking about him being in the MVP conversation. And this conversation, I'm not saying that you know these great players all have had bad seasons. All right. It's about your mentality and mindset. How do you bounce back from these bad seasons? Mingo Jester, Jordan had a losing record in the NBA until he got Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson. That happens when you don't have an extremely talented team around you. And in a league like today, where you need a lot of depth across the board, it's hard to compete night in and night out. This is one of the reasons why the Warriors go from beating the Utah Jazz one night, where you can think they could beat anybody in the league, but then they go to playing a Laker team that plays much differently, and then they lose. It's different. It's different. The league is different like that. He says, hold on. He says, Jared Thomas says, if you can't shoot, it limits you in this era. Look at Giannis. Okay. It's limited Giannis to such a degree that he's a back-to-back MVP and a defensive player of the year. That makes no sense. I'm looking at Giannis. He's a back-to-back MVP. All right. He's a back-to-back MVP and a defensive player of the year. All right. Now, the one thing that happened to Giannis doesn't get exposed in the playoffs because he can't shoot. That's not why Giannis gets exposed. That just tells me right there, you are probably a shock jock, Jared Thomas, and you just go off media talking points. If you actually watch the game, Giannis Antetokounmpo gets shut down because of his IQ. If you look at his decision-making in the last 5 minutes of the game, it's trash. He's cost his team over the last 3 years. He's cost his team because of his decision-making late in games in the playoffs. Nobody calls him out on that except me. You guys just want to say he can't shoot. It's not his shooting. That it's not even the wall that teams are building that's really putting his team in bad situations. It's Giannis, low IQ, late game. Now, if you talk about if you look at how Mike Budenholzer is doing it different this year. Late in game, he's putting the ball in Drew Holiday's hands. He's not putting the ball in Giannis's hands at the top of the key. Low basketball IQ late game. What does he do late game a lot? He fouls late game a lot. Look at what he did with Jimmy Butler last year. cost his team that series. All right. He makes bad decisions. I mean, earlier this year, there was a late game situation where he chucked up a three from the top of the key with 3 minutes to go. It was a close game, and that really changed the ebb and flow of the game. IQ. Once Budenholzer gets the ball out of his hands late game, put the ball into Drew Holiday's hands, we saw what happened a few weeks ago when in a late game situation, they put it in Holiday's hand. The ball actually came back to Giannis, and he got a dunk for the win, or actually sealed the game. I think that was against the Clippers. So come on. I mean, that's all I'm saying, Jared Butler, is quit using these same silly talking points that you hear from other people or that you might read on the internet. Why don't you go watch the games yourself? All right. Go watch the games yourself and come to a better conclusion. Yeah. Like I said, be better than that. Remember, research purposes only is all over the merch we sell in the merch store, y'all. Research purposes only. Do your research. Don't use these same talking points, because you come in here just like Lord Ninja did with them played out talking points. You mess around and get ethered. No, but okay, Giannis's poor shooting from the field, yes, it's a weakness in his game. Okay, he don't have too many weaknesses in his game. He's a back-to-back MVP. So I'm not. If a back-to-back MVP who's averaging damn near 30 points a game, struggling in the playoffs, I'm not about to look to his shooting percentage. I'm looking at, it's not his shooting percentage why they were losing games. It's IQ. He makes extremely bad decisions. All right. When you get multiple charges in a game, it's not because they're building a wall. It's because you're a low IQ player. Getting charges in the NBA only happens to low IQ players. And if it happens to a good player, you won't ever see the best players in the league today get 2 charges. Like the high IQ players, you're not going to see LeBron get 2 and 3 charges in one game. You'll see it happen to Giannis. Even a guy like Ben Simmons, who goes to the rim a lot, and he can't shoot, but you don't see him running around getting charges all day. That's a low IQ. At the NBA level, that's low IQ. Only people with a low IQ fall for that. Giannis has to fix that before he becomes a champion. And Giannis even said it himself. See, the good thing about Giannis is Giannis even came out and said this to a certain degree. He said he don't feel like an MVP. He said he don't feel like he won the MVP. He said, I don't feel like an MVP. I'm not a champion. He knows. But see, and when Giannis says that, his fan base hears it, and his fan base isn't going to run around propping him up saying he's the next, he's top 5 all time or some crazy stuff, because they know he has a championship standard for himself. He said, I don't even feel like MVP. The way the mistake, and he was right to a certain degree. So this is why I don't include Giannis in it. Y'all are including players in this that I'm not talking about. I'm talking about these players with these fan bases with crazy imaginations. Jared Thomas has a crazy imagination. Jared Thomas has sat here and talked about every other player that I've not named. He said, when was the last time a great player in the modern era could not shoot, win a championship? You got Shaq. Shaq won a championship in the modern era of basketball. He can't shoot. Come on, man. The shooting is not a requirement. Shooting is not a requirement to be great or to even have a championship mindset. And it's great shooters in this league, like Bradley Beal, who can't win a game. It doesn't matter. That's what I mean. I can for all the great shooters that you think, if you think great shooting wins you championship, I can show you a lot of great shooters in this league who are struggling to win games, because it's about having a championship mindset. Look at Jimmy Butler last year. Jimmy Butler was one of the worst 3-point shooters on that Miami Heat team. He got that team to the finals. You had crazy people running around saying that he might be the best player in the league. If you say you can shoot, you're an idiot. Come on, man. I mean, like it just happens like that. I mean, but and the thing is, we know that the reason why Jimmy Butler's not on that list is because he plays with a championship mentality. All right. You cannot say that Jimmy Butler is not one of the best leaders that we've seen in the NBA. He said Jimmy wasn't the driving force the whole playoffs. Oh, you must be out of your mind. You must be out of your mind. You must be out of your mind. Why don't you tell that to the Sixers when he walked away from the Sixers? Jimmy Butler was the sole reason why. Because the thing when the time came for a shot to be made in game, who took and made those shots? Jimmy Butler. So you can take all that shooting stuff out the door, because when it came down to winning time, championship time, all right, having a championship winning mentality, Jimmy Butler took and made those shots. I don't care how you describe what type of player he is. Grinder, hustler. Draymond Green's a grinder, hustler, all right? But it's the mindset. This is why I didn't like it when Charles Barkley was going at Draymond Green, talking about Draymond Green triple single. Okay. Draymond Green's triple single and sacrifices got him a championship. I don't care who he played with, because Barkley played with great players too. Charles Barkley's inability to play defense is what cost him multiple potential championships. But see, people like Jared Butler will run around saying that Charles Barkley was a great defender. Or Joe Bond might tell me about Barkley shooting splits. But he won't tell you that when he got in a defensive stance on Michael Jordan said, when you learn how to do that? No, you know why I don't care who Draymond can play with? Because even before Draymond and Steph Curry were considered elite players in this league, he had won a championship already. All right, he came into this Draymond league, and I'm talking about mindset. And the mindset ultimately gives you the outcome. This is what I'm talking about. The mindset ultimately gives you the outcome. See, Draymond Green's mindset came into the league as a second-round pick. Second-round picks usually don't stick around. All right, he came into the league similar to how he came into college. That's facts. He came into the league similar to how he came into college. He was playing behind David Lee. What did he do to David Lee's spot? He went and took David Lee's spot. And even when David Lee came back from injury, what happened? Oh, David Lee, we don't need you no more. We got Draymond. We found us a gem in Draymond. And what could David Lee do? David Lee was a scorer. David Lee had a good shot. David Lee probably had good shooting splits. Joe Bond. But who is the more valuable player? Who had the championship mentality and mindset? They don't win a championship with David Lee. They win a championship with Draymond Green. No, the change wasn't made with Steve Kerr. The change was made with Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson starting Draymond Green. Yeah, David Lee was an all-star, but David Lee, okay, you can say all-star, but he wasn't a champion. He didn't have that championship mindset. They would not have won a championship with David Lee at the power forward position, because David Lee wasn't willing to sacrifice his points to defend or pass or play make the way Draymond does. And that's exactly what that Warrior team needed. All right. They needed to find more ways to put Steph Curry off ball, because when he plays much better off ball, especially as a scorer. Draymond Green facilitating, pushing the ball up the court, being able to run the offense allows him to run free. And we all know that Klay Thompson's a catch and shoot shooter primarily. We saw him score 60 points on 12 dribbles. So we know that with Klay Thompson, all we have to do is have the right facilitator to facilitate those passes to him, and he's going to knock down the shot. Y'all act like facilitating is easy. See, that's the one thing y'all would do. Y'all diminish what facilitating is. You guys were the people running around saying that Eric Paschal could come in and do what Draymond Green does. Now y'all see he can't. You said Mark Jackson don't get the credit he deserves. Yes, he does. He gets the credit What I mean, he got credit for what he did there, but he ultimately got fired. He got fired because he ran a trash offense. The offense that he ran down there was not a very smart offense. Defensively, he helped instill a lot of good defensive principles in that team. Offensively, he was trash. Steve Kerr came in and built on those principles. They already had good defensive principles because of Mark Jackson. Steve Kerr cleaned up the offense. They became champions. Simple as that. They made a great move bringing in Steve Kerr. No, he was not fired due to political reasons, although that didn't help. You can say that. You can say that. Maximize Sports Network. You can say that. But at the end of the day, the basketball side of it is what got him fired. All right, because I can tell you about 22 teams in the league, 23 actually, that all have religious practices within the team or within the team concept and the culture. It wasn't the religious issue. It wasn't the religious issue. Him going to church and bringing those influences into practice. That wasn't it. Again, maximize that. That's a media. That's a media talking point. Come on, go do your research. Go do your research, man. Come on. And I've talked to people involved, so I kind of know a little bit about that. It was his offense. All right, we're going to drop the link. We're going to bring people in on this topic right here. He says Westbrook is better than Curry because he can carry a team. You can say that, well, Curry carried his team to a championship. Westbrook hasn't. Although Westbrook is a pretty good leader himself. Again, this is not about comparing. If I'm not naming that player, then I'm not talking about that player because there's a lot of you guys that hate Westbrook. Hey, Blazers cut the lead. Hey, I'm a Blazers fan. I hope they pull out the win. All right, maybe Carmelo can come off the bench and give us a few extra points, help us pull it off. Since Joe Bond has relegated him to being a sixth man, that's the Carmelo we know right now. So we need our sixth man to step up and do his job and score some points because we're not expecting no defense from him, just a few points off the bench. Yeah, okay. You said the 2015 Warriors wasn't carried by Steph Curry, then you're an idiot. Come on, man. Let's just not say stuff, Grind Hard Sports Nation. Come on. Steph Curry he carried that team. Oh, okay. Mello got 7 points tonight. Hey, hold on. You know what though? But hey, Khalil, we can't really harp on Mello too much because Joe Bond 247 has already said that Mello is a sixth man. That's where he's put him at. I don't want to remember Carmelo Anthony as a sixth man. I want to remember Carmelo as one of the greatest scorers one-on-one scores that I've ever seen, even though he didn't have a championship mindset. Joe Bond 247 wants you guys to remember him as a sixth man who is just a role player. See, it's people like Joe Bond that's gonna fool you and have you thinking that this is the Carmelo you see now is the Carmelo that we all remember. That's not the Carmelo that I remember. Carmelo was a great scorer, right? Historically great, but this ain't the same Mello. This is why I said it's time for him to hang it up. More the reason why, if he's 37 years old, more the reason why it's time for him to hang it up. I mean, what you want me to say? Do you want me to really act like a 37-year-old not named LeBron James is going to be really out here helping teams win games at a high level? Well, I've already said I think Carmelo should hang it up because he's diminishing his legacy. All right, well, JJ Fathom, if you pick CJ McCollum tonight coming off that injury, then you was crazy. I would have never picked CJ McCollum tonight. I stayed away from him on my FanDuel. He's a rhythm player. He got to get his rhythm first. Once he gets in rhythm, once CJ gets his first 25, 30-point game, maybe look at it. He's a rhythm player. I just don't like how him and Lillard try to take turns too much. One usually takes the backseat to the other scoring wise. And when that happens and you have them both on the court, neither plays defense. So now you have a backcourt that doesn't play defense, and only one of them is really giving you anything offensive. Yeah, Mello's legacy is stamped. Yeah, it is stamped. Yeah, a great scorer. Big time loser, though. Very selfish. Let me drop this link because I know some of y'all want to come here and say something crazy. And now Joe Bone 247. Just because you lost the debate to GOAT Mike doesn't mean you can't come into the live panel. You haven't been back to the live panel since GOAT Mike thrashed you in the debate. Now, everybody takes a loss on the debate stage every now and then. It's okay. Okay? Everybody takes a loss on the debate stage, Joe Bond. You don't have to go from showing up in the debates to being a chat warrior just because you lost to GOAT Mike. Because if you don't come into the live panel, that just gives GOAT Mike another strike. That gives him something else to talk about. Now he can talk about the fact that he turned you into a chat warrior. You don't come onto the live panel no more. Now, I know, Joe Biden, I'm not lying. Everybody here watched you lose the debate to GOAT Mike. You lost the debate to GOAT Mike. Now you don't ever want to come and cook with us on the live panel. It's okay. GOAT Mike the thing is, and we all told you where you were wrong. GOAT Mike really didn't beat you. You said that one statement about defense and you really eat it yourself, and GOAT Mike just won by default. Nonetheless, he won. And it's okay, Joe Biden. GOAT Mike only made 62 videos about you. I thought he was going to do more than that. Let me get this link in here. All right, now, if you are new, if I haven't seen you in the live panel before, please hit the link, man. I want to see some new faces in here. All right, I want to see some new faces in here. Again, we're going to be cooking tonight. Look, we're going to cook tonight for a good 2, maybe 3 hours strong. Then we're going to shut it down because I'm not trying to burn y'all out on this. And I know that a lot of the players on that losing side with that loser mentality, y'all are emotionally connected to. Okay? Yeah, I do got a referral link for FanDuel, Mitchell Dawkins. I'm going to get you that referral link. I'll put it in the chat. Give me 1 second. I got to pull it up. So I'm going to throw that referral link for you. See, Joe Bond. Now GOAT Mike is in the chat saying he's gonna cook you again. Now hold on. Now GOAT Mike, Lord Gamer, y'all hold off on hitting the link, man. I want to see some of these new faces come in. All right. Hey Natalie, I'm starting to think you might be a chat warrior because you ain't came into the live panel yet. I mean, that's okay. Just choose one. If you want to be a chat warrior, that's fine. Chat warriors. I mean, we need those to make the channel work. We need chat warriors. We need people who come in the live panel. We need the trolls. We got a few trolls. We got some haters. We need a little bit of all that. Yeah, Mitchell Dawkins, man. Mitchell Dawkins, he lost to GOAT Mike. Look, Joe Biden will come. Joe Biden was winning his arguments. And even though I didn't agree with what he was talking about, he was winning his debate. He was coming with stronger points than GOAT Mike. Then he had one statement about defense. He was basically said you don't need defense to win a championship, and everybody that he ethered himself. Once he ethered himself, GOAT Mike wins. All right, link is hold on. Let me put this link in the chat. I've been procrastinating about putting the link in the chat. Let me put it in there. Oh, hey man, maximize. Don't worry about how many carts GOAT Mike push, man. He got a job. He grinding right now. Now you just trying to get off topic because you know we're gonna talk about some of your favorite players, and it's a sensitive topic for some of you guys. Link is in the chat. GOAT Mike, GOAT Mike, stay focused because they're trying to get you off focus. And Lord Gamer, you got to come in here too, man, because we got to set up a time. Because the guy whose identity you stole on your YouTube profile, he wants to have a debate with you on FYF Sports, man, about identity theft. Until he messaged me back on Pinterest. All right, hold on. Okay, we got some good antisocial. I see you in the backstage. 999 Sports Debate. Lord, hold on. 999. Is that you who be sending me those $1 cash apps? Trying to defend Carmelo every night. I definitely got to let you in. Well, we need a few more people in the backstage. And salute to 999 Sports Debates, whoever he is. I be forgetting, man. There's so many people. Man, the link is in the chat. All right, let's just go ahead and bring everybody in. Okay, Maximize came in. Okay, he didn't relegate himself to being a chat warrior. We got Maximize, we got Antisocial, 999. Yeah, a whole bunch of people just popped up. We got Big Solomon, salute. We got Let's Talk. Okay, I think I've seen you in here before. We got Khalil, and we got Napoleon 1911. Salute to y'all for coming in today. Oh, okay. Sean Pack is back. Hey, Mister, what do y'all got on this topic, man? What do y'all got?
Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. I want to hear what Joe Biden got to say since he was in there running his mouth.
I don't know if he's here. Is Joe Biden in here?
Nah, that man ain't been back in here since he lost the gold mic, dog.
Yeah,
He said drop the link.
The link been in the chat for like the last 10 minutes. He know the link's been in there.
Man ain't gonna come in here, dog.
He gonna say drop the link after everybody came in.
Yo, Lamont, I disagree with your Kyrie point though.
Why you disagree?
It's not so much his mentality. Is that part I agree with you? It's more so the asterisk part. He was a big contributor to that championship, man.
No, he's saying he's putting an asterisk to him as far as the conversation goes, not on his championship.
No, he mentioned that. He said, I do agree on his mindset, but like those 2 years in Cleveland, especially 2015, 2016, especially, he contributed a lot to that team.
He contributed a lot to that team, but ultimately, the reason why that team won the championship is because of LeBron James. That was LeBron James' team. When Kyrie when Kyrie had his own team on two different teams without LeBron next to him to lead the way, what did he lead? Did he have a championship mindset and mentality, or was it selfish?
They were the first. They were the one seed.
I can give you two. Let me give you two examples. Let me give you two examples. Then you can reply. My first example is when he was in Cleveland. He signed that contract. Then LeBron James came. And everybody knows he was upset because he thought that was his team. He wanted to have the team to himself, even though the team was a lottery team and not very good. And then he was upset when LeBron came initially. Then when he went to Boston, and then he wanted, even after winning a championship with Cleveland, he wanted out because he said he wanted his own team. And he went to Boston and did what? He proved that he couldn't be the leader, a championship type of leader. He even went as far as saying, I called LeBron and I told LeBron, you was right. This leadership stuff ain't as easy as what it seems.
But they were the one seed.
No, so hold on. What I was saying was this. I'm not disagreeing you in terms of his play style and as well as his mindset to a championship. However, he has proven to contribute to winning teams. You know what I mean? As well as people forget that first year in Boston. The only reason why that team even made to the East Conference Finals, yes, he was injured, he didn't play in the playoffs, but they had whole court advantage because of him. They won. The only reason why they made to the East Conference Finals because they won all their home games. They only won one road game that whole playoff run.
Here's the thing.
Kyrie Irving series with Boston against Milwaukee never gets brought up anymore.
No, it does. That gets hold up against them. I'm just saying people tend to forget that whole first season though. They was the number one seed in the East, and they were contenders. Like he was the best player on that team before he got hurt. The first year,
they weren't serious contenders, bro.
They were. People were talking about them. People were talking about them as potential.
Dude,
No,
the only
hold on,
chance,
hold on.
the
Media
only real
was
chance
talking
they had
about
was the year that Kyrie left. 2018 was their only year they
Right.
really had a chance.
No. That first year, that's what I'm saying. That first year gets really
I
swept
never
under the
knew
rug
They
them
should
as
have
a
beat
real contender,
LeBron.
bro.
because
Okay.
he got hurt.
How did they that first year in Boston? How did they lose in the playoffs again?
No, they lost to LeBron.
And
That
they
was
beat
their
the
only.
Spurs
That
in
was their
that game,
only
too,
real chance to get to the finals.
So you know what tells me what that told me right there was this. LeBron didn't need Kyrie to get to the finals. He just needed a solid number two. Kyrie
Facts.
is forever going to be known. Kyrie's forever going to be known as a solid number two. I'm not talking about solid number twos. I'm talking about people who elevate Kyrie higher than what he actually is, which is a solid number two guy. There's people who run around and say Kyrie's better than Steph Curry because he has a fancy handle and he can score. He's not the leader. He's not the winner. He's not the champion. He's not an MVP, right? Like when I did that comparison video between Westbrook and Kyrie Irving, didn't y'all find it amazing that Kyrie Irving's only made an All NBA team twice in his career? Now, why is that?
I have never.
If he was elite, and he's only been in the Eastern Conference his whole career, if he was elite at the point guard position, he would at least have made the second team. Yeah, we hear you.
We can't hear you, bro.
His career numbers aren't really that impressive.
All right, I'm in the
As far as
building.
a
He ever played over
We cannot say he's not a champion.
Well, you
That's all
can't
I'm
really.
saying.
No, I didn't say he
relegate
wasn't a
it to scoring,
champion.
bro.
I didn't say he wasn't a champion. That's not what I'm saying.
Boston
I said
didn't have
I don't
no
believe.
chance winning with
I said I
Kyrie.
don't believe he has a championship champion mentality. He don't have a leader's mentality. He's
No,
not.
it's
He
more
proved
so-
it. He proved that.
It's more me than team with Kyrie.
Hey, that's a
He
fact.
puts
He's
himself
not
above
better
the
than
team.
James
He ain't even better than
Harden. He's
James
not even
Harden.
close.
Hey,
James Harden
not
can
at all.
James Harden can literally initiate an offense like
Hey,
one of the best
but
point
look,
guards
y'all.
in the league
Well, look,
and
Not the
offense.
discussions.
Yeah, that's
Name
not.
a
We're not.
point guard better
You
than
can make
James
an
Harden.
argument Harden is the best
Name a
player in
point
the
guard better than
league.
James Harden.
Hold on.
Hold on, we're not
Hey,
talking
we-
about
we-
that right now. We're not talking
Oh,
about
no,
that.
no, we
Exactly.
gotta
So
talk
don't
about
bring up
that.
James
We-
Harden like James
No,
Harden.
we won't get off topic.
We're not comparing that. That was not
Needs to
discussion.
stop.
Nah,
This
so don't
nigga
say
just
Hold
James
on,
said
hold on,
Harden
he's right.
is
is
arguably the best player in the league.
Hold on, he's right.
Nah.
That's not the
stop,
conversation. That's not the
Stop.
conversation. Well, let's not get into that conversation.
Yeah, so
We
don't
got
throw
James
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 Harden's
Harden.
MVP is another conversation.
I just
That's
don't
not
think.
slight.
All I'm saying is I don't think Kyrie's in the group with these other dudes because believe it or not, he's proven. Unlike all those dudes went on teams that had championship chances, and Kyrie, unlike all those other dudes, took full advantage of those. You know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't because he wanted to leave
How
the
he did not?
championship team.
Hold on,
What are you
time out,
talking
I
time out.
agree.
How he did not?
You can't put
How he
Kyrie
did not?
in that conversation.
Dude, he
You
wanted
can't-
to
you can't put him
leave
in the
a
same
championship
group. Yeah, 'cause he
team.
don't
What are you
fuck with
talking
LeBron.
about?
Put him in
This
the
is about
same
league,
Bro,
though.
hey,
Like,
we gotta go
it's
one at
fine.
a
Who
time.
cares?
Y'all talking over each other.
You
Calm down.
rarely gonna ever see a point guard of Kyrie's stature lead a team to a championship. You can only point to Zeke and Steph Curry. Other than that,
That's
it's
it.
never happened.
This man just said that Kyrie
He's not gonna
Irving
be a
took
number one
advantage
option on a
of having
championship team.
champions,
Yeah,
a
it's hard.
championship
Come on,
team. He
bro.
wanted to leave a championship team. Like, what are
Yeah,
you
because he
talking
don't
about?
fuck with
I'm
LeBron.
saying he took a full advantage of opportunity.
Hold
All
on,
those
no,
other
Big
guys
Solomon.
did before.
No, Big Solomon.
Hold on.
Hold on.
That's
What
not
I'm saying
true.
is this. The point is this. I think we're getting off on 10. What I'm saying is he was okay. If he could have stuck, let's say he would have stuck around instead of winning the championship and then saying I want out for some random reason, which nobody really understood. He said I wanted to leave, and everybody said he wanted to be the man. See, what I'm talking about is the mentality. And he wanted to go out and see if he had the championship mentality. Since he did win a championship, he wanted to see if he could take that and go be that on his own. And he failed epically. He failed before LeBron came. Hold on, he failed. All I'm saying is this: he failed before LeBron came, and he failed after LeBron came. He's not been that dude. He's never been a great leader. Even when he was with Cleveland, nobody looked at him as a great leader. They actually looked at him as the opposite. Because when you're talking about a player who didn't talk to your teammates for weeks at a time, and you would do a whole bunch of weird stuff this year when you go disappear on your teammates for whatever reason, with no explanation. And what I'm talking about, y'all keep talking about the play. Okay, the play is just like Carmelo. They're great players. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but when you talk about championship acumen, he don't have it.
As a leader, man, no,
That's what I'm
as a
saying.
leader, no, I agree with you. He doesn't.
I'm not saying as a leader. It's proven that I am saying that he's proven, like, he's a proven champion, man. Like, he's proven to contribute to winning teams.
He won a championship.
Away from him.
He won a championship.
You can't take it away from him.
Hold on. He won a championship alongside LeBron James. That does not
That's
mean you're a
true.
great leader or you have championship
I never
mentality.
said he was a great leader.
Neither
I did
one
say
of them
he.
two would have won without the other,
That
man.
could be
Come on,
proven.
dog.
It has
That's
championship
called
mentality.
being.
And
That's
he's
just
gonna
called
win
being
this
at the
shit, too.
right place
So
at the
what
right
you gonna-
time.
what you gonna
But
say
look,
to
to
this
be
shit?
No,
fair,
that's not
to be fair with
That's
Kyrie,
not
that
true.
first
Take
year
that away
in
from him.
Boston,
like that.
Nah,
to be fair with Kyrie, that
agree
first
with
year in
you.
Boston,
Hey,
they got
One at a time. One at a time.
to
One at a time.
be
To a
fair.
certain extent, that's true.
Let me ask you a question. Wasn't LeBron James getting to the NBA Finals without Kyrie?
That's a fact.
We understand.
So just because LeBron James joins your team and you get to the championship game, I mean, you get back to the finals, that don't surprise me because LeBron James teams always get to the goddamn finals.
No, that's
yes.
fact.
Now,
But no, I never.
hold on.
That wasn't my criteria.
LeBron's not winning
If
with
you
Boston.
That
replace
wasn't my
Kyrie with a
criteria.
comparable player, that they still be in the finals. So I agree with what he's saying. It is
That's
circumstantial.
LeBron.
with
That's
Kyrie.
LeBron
Kyrie
James. To be
just
fair
happened
with
to be-
Kyrie,
just happened to be
that
on
first
team.
year in Boston was controversy with Gordon Hayward coming back as well with the minutes restriction and everything,
Yep.
and taking Jaylen Brown from the starting
Yep.
lineup. It was a lot of things going on with
There's a
Boston
lot of things.
Everybody trying
besides
to get their
Kyrie. Was
money.
he a part of the problem? Yeah, but it wasn't 100% Kyrie. We gonna see this year in Brooklyn with all the stars.
I mean, you
nah,
can't
if
back
he
them, cut it out because he got two
Hey,
players on his team that's better than him. Like, what are you
Exactly.
talking about?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
but
What-
you can't. But look,
The
but
same-
look though,
no,
he
that's
could
not right. That's not right.
Now we got
Second
LeBron
year is when the
treatment.
problems came.
Now we
My
got
nigga,
LeBron.
he literally
He
got
got
two
LeBron
dudes that's
treatment?
better than him on his
That's
team.
a fact.
So what
That's
are
a
we?
fact.
Hey,
So what are we seeing exactly?
hey,
That is
But
false.
but
Hey, you better put
Kyrie
respect on his
can blow
name.
this thing up by being detrimental to the team,
Yeah,
either
exactly. How
going
LeBron's
going on a hype and being gone from the team a week, not calling nobody. Kyrie has the ability to
You
blow
be dick
this
riding.
up
We know that.
character wise.
What you say?
We
Yeah, well,
understand
that's
that,
why-
but we're gonna
that's
see
why-
what he can
we know
do on
that.
the court.
That's why he's
Alright.
on this list.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why
he's
he's
on
on
his
the
list.
list.
Like Lamont, I agree with your list because my top 5 players that I've seen in my life, you got about 3 or 4 of those on the list. You know, Jordan, Iverson, Mello, Kevin
Y'all got
Garnett, and
Kyrie
Paul
on the
Pierce.
list like that?
How is Mello one of
But
the
you got
top
Mello,
players
you got
you've ever
Mello and
seen?
Iverson on that list. I agree with you because I look at Isaiah Thomas and what he did as a small guard and what he had to go through in his mentality to try to beat Magic, Bird, and Jordan and Dominique
Dr. J
Wilkins and all that.
It was
So
the
I
mentality.
agree with you on Iverson and in Mello. But to me, coaching has another aspect into that. We got to include coaching into that. Because
gotta include their
Iverson, when he had
teammates.
Larry Brown, he went
We
to the
got to
finals.
include their teammates too.
Yeah,
Nah, but
exactly.
see, you can't.
It's
do
a lot.
that
It's a lot of
because
other factors that go into that for these guys to be called losers and not have a championship
All right,
mentality.
hold on. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna give you an example. Player like Bradley Beal hasn't really won anything his entire career, right? Hasn't won anything. But for me, when I'm talking about Bradley Beal, Beal,
okay.
To me, I feel that Bradley Beal has championship acumen put in the right situation.
Yeah, see, I can't even understand you, bro. I can't even understand you. You make no sense.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because how you gonna say Bradley Beal, who barely makes the playoffs, is championship level, but a guy like Tracy McGrady putting up the
That's not what I
stats,
said.
couldn't make it up the
what I
first
said.
round.
He said acumen. He said
That's not what I said.
All right. Go ahead. Let me relax then. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to break that down, Lamont. Because
I put it
with him.
I put it like this.
Bradley Beal
Bill's a reach.
Eventually, I feel like eventually, because of Bradley Beal's mindset, the sacrifices I've seen him make and take with that team, just like what Paul Pierce did. Early on in Paul Pierce's career, he put up big numbers. He just stuck it out for the long haul. And eventually, when the team did their job,
nobody around
hold
him.
on.
No.
What I'm saying,
That's a lot.
When the team did their job and put the right pieces around him, what did he immediately do with his first opportunity?
Yeah, they won.
Okay, so what I'm saying
and
is,
he never threw his teammates under the bus.
I think.
Let him finish his point, bro.
I think the first the first great move that they did was get rid of John Wall because there was a lot of stuff going on off the court and in the locker room that he was making cancers on that team. They brought in a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's a great leader in his own right, not the best decision maker, Not the best decision maker, but when you have a guy like Russell Westbrook who comes in from day one, his first practice there,
bro, they're 10 games on the
he's there 2 hours early, putting in work early. He's setting a tone for it. That's called championship acumen. That's called championship culture. Hold on. You can listen. What I'm saying is you have to start building championship culture somehow. Culture. See, y'all just think these teams just hit a switch. Y'all think these teams just hit a switch and just become championship level. You have to really start having championship culture. I think Bradley Beal and Russ can start that, but they have to also the team has to also bring in the right players to put around them. I believe that ultimately
the trading block.
I believe no, I didn't say that. I said I believe that they will ultimately start being one of those teams that are consistently in the Eastern Conference Finals, competing to get to the finals.
I agree with that point with Bradley.
They can't even make the play-in. They can't even make.
I agree with that point.
You're talking about that's not what we're talking about.
Hold on. But the Wizards is not the team that you look at on paper, bro, because they was one of them teams that really got fucked up by COVID. Like, their team got ravaged by COVID, bro.
Yeah, they did.
Top three.
They don't have one defender on their team.
Them and the Mavs and the Heat.
Have the Heat. Yeah, how about the Heat?
What they defended the
The Heat just now recovering from it.
Yeah, but they're the fifth
And
seed.
Dallas too.
What
Dallas
Washington has
too.
currently constructed is not a championship.
Hey, but with
caliber,
Lamont,
even a
I don't
playoff
agree
caliber
with
team.
Mello. I don't
They
agree
gotta
with
add
Carmelo
more
being on
pieces.
this list.
But they
Mello was
Mello
was
had
in
a
the playoffs.
championship
How many years in a
mentality
row?
since high school.
Hold on, let's
Mello
hear
didn't
it.
have
Let's
no
hear it.
damn
Melo
championship
ain't won
mentality.
shit though.
Mello had a
That's right.
championship mentality
Bro,
since
Mello
high,
did
like
not
I
have
said,
no
coaching has a lot to do with it.
No.
Melo
And
had a
players
championship
around him.
mentality since high school. He won in
Hold
college.
up, you
bro.
trying to say Melo didn't have?
Hold on, let him.
in Denver?
Hold on, let him
He won-
finish.
hold on, he had a
Hold
championship
on. Let
mentality.
Magda finish.
He had
Go
a
ahead.
Go one at a
championship
time.
mentality since high school with Oak Hill. Boom, he go to college. He went as his freshman, probably one of the greatest freshman years of all time. You could rank him up there. But who was his coach? Coach Boeheim, been coaching for like 30 years, certified. When his best team was with the Denver Nuggets, he was playing with George Karl. That's another Hall of Fame coach. And he had his best team.
All right,
with
so let me ask
Iverson.
you this, Mac there, Frank,
No,
real
stop,
fast.
bro.
But you want
Mac
to cap on him when he had.
Hold on,
when he
Mac
went to the
Def,
Knicks,
Def,
but
hold
he
on,
playing
Mac
with
Def.
D'Antoni.
Mac there, real quick.
You just eat
Go
it
ahead.
yourself.
Jim
You know that.
Boeheim is
Yeah,
one of the
the best
best
player in the
defensive
country.
minds in college basketball. Why didn't that translate in Carmelo Anthony?
To say Carmelo can't play defense is not true. Carmelo can play defense. He can.
That's
He's
what
not a great defender.
Hold on,
Melo is
Mac
not
Def.
an all-time great defender, but he's not
Mac
a
Def.
liability.
That's just another
Yes, he
you
was,
did yourself. Let me answer this question. So you said, and I believe you when you say that. I believe that Melo can play defense. I think he's too lazy to do it on both ends. One.
All you had to go watch.
Second
go
thing
watch
you just
Melo
said
in the
was
Olympics.
Second
Go
thing
watch
you just,
Melo in the Olympics and how he took.
Hold on,
he
the
took
Olympics.
control
When you
being
playing,
a
hold on,
championship player
hold on, Mac
on the
Def. When you
Olympic
playing
team.
dudes from Nigeria, I don't want to hear nothing about no
That's
defense.
what
When you look at his
Didn't
team,
LeBron
And
do
when
it?
you look at his team with all those all stars,
When you
when
play
you got
Somalia,
Kobe and you
when
got
you playing
LeBron,
Somalia, you want to
and
hear
you
nothing
gonna
about
say
this
and Chris Paul, you wouldn't think that Mello would be the voice of that team.
Hold on, Mac Def.
Bro,
Here's
it's
my
the
other point.
Olympics,
Here's
bro.
my other point. You also said earlier, you said it's about good coaching. You just said George Karl is a Hall of Fame coach. They had the number 1 and 2 scorers in the NBA on their team. How come they didn't win?
They
Melo
lost to the
and
Spurs,
Lost to
bro.
the Spurs.
The same
Hold
year.
on. This is what I hold on, Mac Def.
Listen,
Mac
Melo
Def.
lost to the Spurs and he
Mac
lost
Def.
to Kobe
Don't care
Bryant.
who they
That
lost
is
to.
nothing to be
Mac
mad
Def,
at.
this is what Mac Def,
That's
this is
the
my
same team
answer to
that
that.
swept the Cavs.
The reason why they didn't win is because neither Iverson nor Mello had championship acumen. Because
Then
championship
neither did
players
LeBron at that point.
Players with
Neither
championship
did LeBron.
acumen. Hold on. Players with championship acumen will ultimately build
Why
championship
you
culture.
keep talking about LeBron, bro?
Hold on one second.
Because
Hold
that's
on.
the same team that beat
Hold on.
the Spurs.
Hold on. What did
Lost to the
LeBron
Spurs.
do?
I
Hold
bet
on.
you.
What did
I bet you if LeBron had that team Melo had, they
Let's
wouldn't
be
be no
real though.
first round
Let's be
exit.
real. Let's be real
hold on,
about.
Mac Def.
Hold on,
Mac Def. Hold on. What did LeBron see? Y'all missing the whole point. What did LeBron do by year 4? He built championship culture. See, you get to the final by year 4 because you spent 4 years building championship culture. That means habits. Because what is LeBron-led teams known for? Practicing together, doing a lot of team stuff together, staying together, work coming in early, putting in extra work. He's known for doing that with his team. He keeps his teams together. No, that's the number one thing that he does. That's called building championship.
Teammate.
That's called building championship culture. what I'm saying is, when has Mello taken those steps to be a great leader and start building
Mello was in the
culture
playoffs every
anywhere?
year, bro.
Hold on, being in the
Melo's
playoffs every year is not championship culture.
Let me answer that.
Mello was
Yes,
in the playoffs
yes,
every
it
year.
is.
Because he's been on great teams. Then they get trapped. Hold on. Don't say the Denver team was garbage.
When Mello was a rookie, yes, they was. He took him to the playoffs.
Who are you talking about?
Denver was not garbage.
Hold on. Denver was not garbage.
So why was they third? So why did they pick third in the draft if they wasn't garbage?
Now, hold on. You said Denver's garbage. All right. I'm gonna pull up their roster.
Hey, hold on, fam. I'm hearing in your accent. You from New York, dog?
Yeah,
he sound like Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's exactly why he. That's why he going hard for Mello.
It don't matter about where I'm from, bro.
That's why I wonder why you were going hard for Mello like that. That's cool.
I'm not from New York.
Mello ain't
Go pull up 03. Don't pull up 0.
I'm not from New York.
07 through 09.
I
when
know
Mello was a rookie, he carried that team to the playoffs.
Hold up. What as great as y'all is claiming Mello to be, the fact that he hasn't been to one fucking final. Not
Look
one.
who he lost to,
Bro, only one team wins the championship, bro.
I don't care, bro.
You do.
We're not. Hold on.
Because
y'all missing the whole point. See, when y'all start, hold on. When y'all start talking about, when y'all talking about winning a championship or getting to the finals, that's not necessarily the point. What I'm saying is, has Melo's teams, any team that, as far as great as Mello is, has any team that he's been on, have we said that team can win the finals?
Man, who eating the
from 07
they were about to win against the Lakers. They were
07, 08, and 09 Denver Nuggets. They had championships.
That sounds like a lot of excuses. That sounds like a lot of excuses. Now, I ask y'all a very easy question.
I'm answering the LeBron.
No. I'm asking 999 Sports Debate. I said, has any team that Melo's been on been considered a favorite or even a fan favorite to win the finals, to win the championship?
No.
Have they been a contender to win the championship?
In 09, if they would have beat the Lakers, those two steals, yeah, they would have been. They would have been contenders.
Why didn't they beat the Lakers?
There was two steals at the end of the games, bro. Why didn't they beat the Lakers? That changed the game. Mello dropped 35, I think.
Hold on. 999 Sports Debate. This ain't one and done NCAA tournament. It's a 7-game series. It was more than just 2 steals that cost them that series.
It was 2 steals. Go watch the games. I know you don't remember.
I've never seen.
I know you don't remember.
I've never seen 2 steals.
Trevor Reeves, 2 steels ended the game.
I've never seen 2 steals cost the team an entire series.
Go look. Go watch the video. You do film study on this.
Hold on. Hey, I want y'all to tell me. Have y'all seen 2 steals cost the team an entire 7-game series?
No, not at all.
Bird steals the ball. Bird steals the ball in Game 5. That cost them the championship.
Hold on, no. But that was multiple games. That's multiple. That's one single game.
I think this is a good question. Is Mello better than Paul Pierce?
No.
Think about it. Why not?
That's tough.
Because the championship acumen is what separates them.
It's the mentality.
Elaborate.
The mentality.
Because
when it came down to winning
my 2
time,
favorite players.
Hold on, because when it came to winning time, when
that's why you can't.
When Paul Pierce finally got good coaching and good team around him, he didn't waste no time. Let me finish. He didn't waste no time instilling those championship habits that he already had and putting it right into that culture, and it translated right into what? Because when that Boston team got put together, nobody hesitated to say this team is going to win the championship. And then they came right out from day one and they started showing. Even though they didn't win it that second year, they got there. What I'm saying is they had championship culture. To do that multiple years, you got to have championship culture, championship mentality, championship acumen.
Hold on. Two things. Number one, that was not just a good team. That was a great team, number one. Number two, Paul Pierce was not the leader of that team. Kevin Garnett was the leader of that team. Number three.
That was Paul Pierce's team.
Kevin Garnett was the leader of that team. Kevin Garnett was the leader on defense. He brought a mentality. Ask Ray Allen. Paul Pierce team. Ask Rondo. Ask Tony Allen.
Call him up.
Rivers.
Hold on.
I got their numbers. I'm gonna
call them up. Hold on. Y'all from New York? Y'all have Dr. J number and all that.
No. Listen.
Niggas say y'all got Dr. J number.
These are interviews and them players saying themselves who were the leaders. That's facts.
Hold on. So you saying Paul Pierce was not one of the leaders of that team?
No, I'm saying Kevin Garnett was the leader of that team.
I beg to differ.
And I'm saying that was Paul Pierce's squad.
That was Paul Pierce's team.
That's research.
That was
You
Paul
do
Pierce's
research.
team.
Paul Pierce was only there first. That's it. That's it.
But
That's it.
Lamont, I'm not saying Paul Pierce didn't
That's
have
it.
a winning culture and a championship
That's
mentality.
all I'm talking about.
But
Yeah, but he
Mello,
wasn't
you
talking to
can't
you,
say
Mac.
Mello
He's talking to
didn't
this
have
guy.
a championship mentality.
Yes, you
He
can.
did.
Anytime you have a player,
I can't say
anytime
he's
you have
better
a
than
former
Paul Pierce.
teammate
That's
that
absolute.
says a player,
He didn't in free agency.
a player was content with scoring 30 and losing, but was mad scoring 15 and winning. No, that's not no championship. Nothing.
Now we done heard his teammates say that.
Chauncey Billups said
His
that.
teammates say
Chauncey,
that.
Chauncey
Mello,
Billups said
yep.
that.
Chauncey said that
What
about Mello.
What did Paul Pierce do?
Mello was immature about his money. That's it.
I'm confused.
He was immature about his money, dog.
That's not what Chauncey Billups said.
What Chauncey
Did
said.
Mello
That
ever
was
respond to
it.
Chauncey
As far
Billups?
as,
I think
as
y'all
far as
overrating Paul
on the
Pierce.
court, Mello had championship mentality, bro.
On the court.
He did? You said
On the court, yes, he did.
No, bro.
How
He
come
wanted to
didn't.
win just
Bro,
as
he
bad
was in the
as
Okay,
playoffs every year. You guys are crazy.
so? How come it never
Boy was in the
amounted to
playoffs
even
every year.
getting close?
Bro,
For you to say how come it didn't mature to a championship is because he lost to the Spurs and he lost to Kobe. That's
Okay, what about when he lost to the Pacers when he was with New York?
He lost to the Pacers, bro.
who was they coach?
Nah, yeah, that was on him. That was on him.
And they
Frank
lost to the
Vogel was
Pacers.
their
What did the
coach,
hold on,
bro.
hold on. What did
That
the
was on Mello.
Pacers do? The
Roy-
Pacers
that was
a
on
better
Hold
team?
on. Who was favored to win that series? The Knicks
The
or
Knicks.
the Pacers?
The Knicks.
The Knicks were favored.
Hell no.
Knicks
Over
had 3
Paul
All-Stars
George and
that year.
the same Pacers that
The
took
Knicks were
LeBron
favored to win that
7.
series, man.
Yeah, those
Paul
Indiana
George-
Pacers were
Paul George wasn't
overachieving.
even Paul George yet.
Nah, that's when he got born.
Oh,
That's
true.
when Paul George was born.
Carmelo's been immature about getting his money. He could have been
Barry
a
Brandon
big
was
three
number
with the
Hold on.
Miami Heat.
Being
Well,
immature about
free
your money
agency
is part of your
dictates a lot.
championship. That's part of your acumen. That's part of your mentality.
Yeah.
That's what it means. That's what we talk about. So if
But being
you
on
say-
the court and being a dog on the court, that's
I
I'm
totally
not
different.
talking about being a dog on the court. I'm talking about championship acumen.
Ma, let me
I
ask you a
think y'all
question.
overrating.
Let me
I
ask
think
you
y'all
a question.
overrating
Being a
Paul
dog
Pierce.
on the
And
court
he
is that's
forced
not.
his way
I think
to
y'all
win.
overrating Paul
you a
Pierce.
question.
So
We overrating Paul Pierce.
I
Hell
think
yeah.
y'all.
No, we not.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all overrated Paul Pierce.
Y'all-
Hold on.
yeah, yeah.
19 for a career.
I didn't
No,
hear
no.
legit
Somebody said they had a
Y'all-
question. Somebody said they
Yeah, I
had
got
a
a question for you.
Go ahead.
So you think Rip Hamilton was better than Tracy McGrady?
Nobody said.
Hold on.
Nah,
As a
he's a
player,
champion.
Hold
Rip
on. Let me ask you a
Hamilton's
question.
champion.
Hold on. See,
Shit,
hold
bro.
on. You 999 Sports Bet. You're confusing the debate. I'm not saying
Yo,
that these guys are.
it-
Hold on. You got to let me
I don't know
finish.
if you guys know.
I'm
but
not
it's Joe.
saying.
No, I'm just telling you.
I know.
Yeah, I said that
Hold
already.
on. What I'm saying is this.
Joe Biden.
I'm not saying that individually this player is better than that player. When I talk about championship play, it's about what are you willing to sacrifice to get to the ultimate goal. What I'm saying is when I look at Mello, he sacrificed nothing in his game or anything off the court to get to his goal. When you talk about some of the best players in this league, like Steph Curry, who took a pay cut, Draymond Green, who took a pay cut, or even with Steph Curry, who sacrificed his game when KD got there to stay champions. These players made sacrifices. Were you talking about Iverson, Mello? These guys did not want to sacrifice their game or their money to win championships, whether it's just one or the other or both. They didn't want to make any sacrifices to win.
Allen Iverson didn't, but Mello,
Yeah,
I
but
argue.
pros began
Mello
like
sacrificed.
Nah,
but
Mello
Iverson-
waited.
Mello sacrificed.
What did Mello
waited too late to
sacrifice?
do it. He
Bro,
waited.
they both
was out
averaged
there.
He waited
26.
too late to sacrifice.
Well, what
They
I'm
both
saying,
averaged
what did he
They both
have
averaged
to
26.
sacrifice? He was a hog
supposed to
about
sac-
his money. I give him that, and now
It's the
he
money,
was
bro.
immature about
But
that.
that's what
But
played.
on the
That
court
would-
is
That
different.
will fix your team. That will fix your team
Nah,
building.
see,
If
what-
you
what
take
Mello-
off majority
what
of salary
Mello
cap,
didn't
you can't
sacrifice-
get quality players.
Mello sacrificed shots.
No, like
He
I said,
never
from 07,
sacrificed
from
shots.
07
No, he
to
didn't.
08 and 09,
No,
Denver
he
Nuggets,
26.
Mello was a beast. He lost to the Spurs and he lost to Kobe. He was going at it one-on-one with Kobe, offensively
And he was outplaying Kobe. Go
And
look at
he
the
lost
numbers.
to the Pacers.
Mello
If-
don't play.
But he's
Go look
still.
at the numbers.
hold
He was
on.
outplaying
If you
Kobe.
go roster
Hey,
for roster,
hey,
bro, that
y'all keep saying he outplayed Kobe, but
Go look at the
No,
numbers.
he didn't
Okay,
outplay
hold on.
Kobe. I
Joe-
said he
Joe
was
Bond,
going
go look
at
at the
it.
numbers.
He didn't
Hey,
outplay Kobe.
999 Sports Debate.
Pull
You
up the
said he
numbers.
Okay, look, this is what I mean. Your
No,
argument's
I'm
flawed.
not with you. with
Bro,
that.
because
Well,
he
hold
had
on,
such
bro.
a great
I know.
series. His
I know.
team
Here's
was
the problem.
trash.
Here's the problem with your argument. His team wasn't trash for one.
His
What
team
I'm saying
was
is
trash.
We
you
had J.R.
automatically
Smith. Who
went
else,
to.
bro? And
Hold on,
Chauncey
you auto-
Billups.
Hold on one second. You automatically went to numbers. He had a better
Yeah,
numbers.
Birdman,
But what we remember Kobe for having championship acumen. Nobody remembers that he might have outplayed Kobe because ultimately Kobe did what it took to win the series. If maybe he had to sacrifice some of his numbers to be more of a defensive oriented player or anything like that. But either way, we only remember. No, he never played defense.
Mello played Kobe that whole series.
We only remember Kobe winning that series. We don't remember
Mello played
Carmelo scoring maybe a few more points.
Don't do that.
Nah. First of all, Kobe dominated that series. He averaged 34 points per game.
Just call out the stats.
They went at it one-on-one, him and Mello, but Kobe dominated that series, dog.
Kobe won.
The game.
Kobe won. Kobe figured out how to win with that series.
He averaged 34. That's what Kobe do.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that Carmelo is not like, Carmelo doesn't have championship mentality or
he doesn't.
He ain't championship culture. He went up against.
He doesn't have
Kobe.
Championship mentality. He never got.
But he went. Lamont, he played 1-on-1 versus Kobe that whole series.
If he got this championship acumen, why do you keep relegating it to him losing to Kobe and losing it to whoever else?
Because those are the champions of that year.
Yeah, but why did Durant get around? Why did Kevin Durant get to the finals? Why did Kevin Durant get to the finals?
Why did he get to the finals?
Let me ask you a question.
Look what team he had.
Hold on.
Fucking Kawhi Leonard's face.
This is what I'm saying. Let me answer that.
Didn't the
From
Pistons
07,
figure the Lakers
08,
out?
and 09, those were Carmelo Anthony's best teams in the NBA.
We're still getting
He
off
wasn't
topic.
going to win with the Knicks. With D'Antoni.
Off topic.
Well, he the one went over there.
Hold on, because we're getting off topic.
He
Because
made
when we
them
talk, see what people teams and players with championship acumen is. They don't make excuses regardless of who they playing. They just figure it out. When that Pistons team went up against the Lakers, did they make excuses and say, "Oh, we playing Shaq and Kobe, we're gonna fold"? No, they figured it out and they won that motherfucker. That's when you have championship culture. That's what those are the results you get when you build that championship culture. You get to the finals. You get championships.
Mello.
That's what happens when you have a championship mindset.
And if Mello would have got drafted by the Detroit Pistons and won that championship, we'd be talking totally different.
Only losers say stuff like that.
Lamar, I get what you're saying, but I feel like that criteria isn't applicable to other stars, because on one hand you say the result of Melo's playoff success is the reason why it's evidence for his championship acumen, but the same thing can't be saying for Steve Nash. That's weird to me.
Hold on.
He don't want to kill Steve Nash.
I just said Steve Nash. Hold on. I said Steve Nash. I said Steve Nash is not a part of this conversation because he doesn't have that crazy cult following like you guys that are going to say that these players are better than what they are.
Yeah, because you're not hating on Steve Nash.
Nobody running. Ain't nobody running. Hold on.
We'll call you
ain't
out.
Nobody running around
if you
saying
hate on
Steve Nash.
we're going to call you out.
Ain't nobody running around saying Steve Nash is the greatest point guard of all time.
Carmelo
and you're not bashing him saying he's the worst point guard defensively of all time either.
Ain't nobody.
When did we ban
Steve Nash is the worst defender of all time?
Hold on. This is what you're saying. What I'm saying is this: if I run around and start saying Steve Nash is better than Steph Curry, then you would have an argument. Y'all are idiots saying Allen Iverson is better than Steph Curry or Mello is better than all these other. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Mello is better than Paul Pierce. I stick by that.
Now, do it hurt Melo's image that he forced his way to the Knicks and made them give up pieces? That could have been.
No, that was a dumbass.
That was a stupid decision.
If he would have waited.
Yeah, but Mac Def didn't bring that up. He keep talking about how sorry the Knicks were.
I did bring that up. The only thing that
listen, I don't want to hear nothing about him being in the Knicks jersey
was that bad.
where he chose to go over there. Nobody forced him out of Denver. He chose to do that. So whatever happens,
that is true.
So whatever happens, then that's on Mello. I don't give a fuck about
We understand that, but that doesn't mean that he didn't have championship mentality. That was the only immature thing that he did was go after that bag instead of trying to get a championship team. But when he had a championship team with Denver, he showed everything that he could.
That move cost him everything.
Yeah,
let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead with that question, Sean Pack.
Go ahead.
No, that was the question. The move to the New York.
Carmelo
it was immature.
Better than Draymond Green.
Nah, it's Joe. I want to ask you a question.
Hold on. Hey, Lord Gamer, shut it down. Don't say nothing else.
Bro, you muted, though.
Mute that nigga for that.
Hold on. I haven't heard from
BS.
Hold on, because I got people wanting to get in the chat. I haven't heard from Astro Anime, man. What you got on this? I haven't heard you say anything.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What's good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I was listening in, but yeah, I kind of agree with y'all saying like Carmelo Anthony don't really have that championship aspirations. Like he screwed over the Knicks. He could have just wait. He could have waited and went to the Knicks, but he chose to force himself out, traded a lot of pieces from there. And if he really wanted the championship, he could have had a chance to go to Miami or Chicago. Definitely Chicago, but he didn't want to do it. He wanted to stay for the money with the Knicks.
Wanted to get that bag.
This is him, but that's his fault, and we have to, gotta blame him for that.
Your moves on the offseason, your moves in the offseason affects a lot, man.
Exactly. So,
but
on
Mello
the, it's different
never,
on
he
the
never
court,
kept
dog.
himself in tip-top shape. He didn't take.
That's true.
I'm still trying to figure out.
That's true.
I'm still
Mello
trying to
didn't take
figure
care of his
out
body
how to.
like that.
Where's this acumen?
Paul
Like
Pierce either, though.
y'all haven't made any
Paul Pierce
argument
wasn't
for
the
it.
best
All y'all
shit.
doing is hollering and screaming and spitting on everything. Like where's the argument?
Listen, I already made two for Mello. He come from a championship mentality because he won in college. He knows how to win.
Hold on,
And
McDuff.
hold
Hold on, let me answer this for you, McDuff. No,
Go
McDuff.
ahead,
I can't let you do that, McDuff. All of these players was winning in high school, and a lot of them had a lot of
Not all
success
of
in
them won in
college.
college.
That is true.
A lot of them had big time success in college, whether it's conference championships and all this stuff. Let's not act like that. And then you know what? At the end of the day,
Mello had a championship.
At the end of the day, it's hard to really consider the NCAA tournament as very viable because it's one and done. You're never gonna get the best team.
The NCAA, you can't.
The best team never wins.
What?
The best college team never wins because it's one and done.
Facts.
Yeah,
What?
That's
Too much
But it still
fluky shit.
counts.
Hold on,
It
do
still
y'all
counts
really
on your
think?
resume.
Y'all really think that 16 seed that beat Virginia would have beat them in a 7-game series?
Hell no.
Ain't no way in
Zion
hell.
was supposed to be
But it still
out
counts
there.
on your resume. It still counts on your resume.
I know, but that's what.
Are you downplaying the? I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that one alone. As far as the NBA, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Won a championship in college, and what did he do in the NBA? He couldn't even stay in there for 5 leagues. Mateen Cleaves, they used to play for Michigan State.
Yeah, I remember.
Are we?
Right.
What about Chris?
Zion
What about
was
Jay?
3
What about
times
Jay Williams when he got drafted by the Bulls? I don't want to hear certain players. We talking about Mello because we can't.
Yeah, but they are. But you keep valuing him winning the NCAA championship because that's your argument.
Who's Mateen Cleaves? He doesn't have the talent that Mello has. He was never a superstar. So
Yeah, but if winning
we talking about
championships
Mello,
is
dog.
important,
Let's
like you
stick
say
to
it
Mello.
is, then he would be able to stay in the league for
No,
more
that's
than
a
5
different.
years.
That's you can't
See,
compare those.
here's
two
McDuff.
players,
Here's the
dog.
major difference with college and NBA. In the NBA level, players can really control the championship culture. At the college level, the coach controls everything. So if the coach wants to build a championship culture, that's on the coach. So that's the difference. The power shifts in the NBA. It's on the players to have that championship mindset and championship culture in the NBA. And if you don't have it in you, and you see, Mello relied on Jim Bowen to have that culture and mindset. He didn't have to do shit but just go out there and score.
So he didn't teach Mello how to win. He didn't instill a championship culture.
No, he didn't
Mello.
because it didn't stick when he got to the league. Because when he got to the league and Mello needed to lead, he didn't.
He kept going to the playoffs. So two things. Exactly what I just said. So who's Coach Boeheim? Coach Boeheim is a Hall of Fame all-time great coach.
Hold on.
Correct?
If he had championship acumen, Chauncey Billups, a trusted player in the league, would have never came out publicly and said that he was that selfish.
Facts.
He was in his own way.
Hey,
hold on.
He was selfish about if you rather have 30 and lose
no. Chauncey Billups said Carmelo Anthony was happy when he scored 30 in a loss, but would be upset when he scored 15 to 20 in a win. That's selfish.
I get that.
It has nothing to do with money.
And listen, and let me answer that. What Chauncey Billups said is correct. But when your name is Carmelo Anthony and you're painted as the face of the franchise and you're the guy, yes, you're gonna be mad if you scored 15 points because
you're not.
Hold on,
Let me
McDuff, you ain't never hooped before. You ain't never hooped before.
When you're
no way in hell you hooped before.
In a win,
He don't play no 10
So
game, bro.
yes, he cares about his numbers and his legacy. Yes.
Hey, McDuff, can I ask you something, bro?
So hold on. Before you ask me a question, look at Kobe Bryant. Let's just look at Kobe Bryant and we know we know he had a championship mentality, but we also know he was ego driven as hell as well. Correct?
Listen, man, quit trying to make
name a time when
parallels.
Kobe
We're
was
talking
happy
about
just
Carmelo
scoring 15
Anthony.
points and winning.
Bro,
Can I ask
Kobe
you this?
did. Kobe
I
would
just
do
want to ask you.
anything
I
in
just
his
want to.
team to
Game
win,
7.
dog.
I just want to ask you a
2012.
question, Mac.
Game
Just
7,
Go
2010.
ahead.
let me ask him a quick question real fast. So you just sat here and made the argument that Jim Boeheim somehow
Was
triculated
his
that
best
winning,
coach that Mello ever had.
triculated that formula of winning into Mello, right? You just said
Name a
that,
better
right?
coach than Boeheim that Mello had.
No. Listen, you just said that he somehow matriculated that talent of winning over to Mello. But when I asked you earlier, do you agree that defense win championships? You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got one of the best defensive minds in basketball in college, why didn't that attribute trickle over?
So to say that Carmelo is a liability on defense, you're lying. Carmelo
He
plays
didn't say
like
that. He is.
Man, just look at the
Oh my
numbers.
Lord! No,
Hey, that's that New York biasness.
we can't agree then. We agree. We gotta disagree on everything.
That's New York biasness with that nigga, bro.
Hold on.
Somebody got to do it.
We disagree.
Yo, let me
Carmelo
ask
had
another
the
question.
It was a liability.
Because we got to
Mac-
get
All
into
right.
the nitty gritty.
Hold on, go ahead with your question. Go ahead
Can't
with your
argue.
question.
I can't believe we in here arguing about
This
Carmelo
nigga's
Anthony, bro.
delusional.
Wait, let me
Let's move
get it
on.
off. Let me get it
Mello
off.
ain't never been a liability. Are you serious?
Shit,
When was he ever?
He was a liability in the
Bro,
night.
if you're not a plus on defense, you're a liability.
He a liability right now.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask
He's a
y'all a question.
liability now.
I'm just messing. I'm just joking.
Melo's actually playing better defense
We ain't
right
gonna
now.
we ain't gonna see eye to eye on Mello. Melo's best
hold on.
Melo's best
No,
team.
he's just
reason-
delusional, bro.
The reason why he's playing defense now, because if he don't, he's gonna be out the league. He's
Right.
already
No,
1 foot out
because
the league.
he don't
anyway.
gotta spend his energy on offense.
No, because he's 1 foot out the door. And if he don't play
you know,
D,
offensive players
go.
are great defensively. We had this argument the other day, Lamont.
No,
what?
We had this argument the other day. You ain't been on the
Yeah, we
panel
did.
in like 2 weeks
That's
since you
what I'm
got
saying.
smoked.
I've been here. I've been here. Well, let's have the debate now then. So, what my debate was? Listen. I was talking about anti. Relax. You debate.
relax.
You don't.
Let's
You
get
you
go
know. You
Mike
just know
in.
football. You just
No,
know
don't worry
football. So
about me.
relax.
Let's get go Mike in here.
Just relax.
You let go Mike fuck you up.
Just relax. Just relax.
You let go
Just
Mike
relax,
fuck you
anti.
up.
You know football. Relax.
Hey,
You know
Jeff,
football.
learn how
But
to
what I
spell
was saying
losing
was
right before you make
great.
that kind of comment.
No, listen. This is what we were saying. This was my argument. I want y'all opinion. So I was saying that scoring point guards, high level scoring point guards, usually are not the best defenders. And I asked Lamont to name me a couple, and he said Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. I just don't agree that they're scoring point guards. I agree that they're great defensively, but I don't agree that they're scoring point guards.
They're not scoring point guards.
Hold on. But the reason why that's not a fair question is because really over the last 10 to 15 years is really the first time we've seen a high volume of scoring point guards.
Isaiah Thomas, James
Hold
Harden,
on.
Gary
Hold on. What I'm saying is,
Kevin
hold on.
Johnson.
What I'm saying is we've seen more scoring point guards over the last 10 years than we've ever had in NBA history.
No, of course.
Traditionally, the scoring point guards really got shunned. In the 90s, if you were a scoring point guard, you got shunned. This is why Kevin Johnson didn't get the props that he deserved.
Hold on.
I agree.
This is why Gary Payton really didn't get the
Price
props he deserved.
The 90s had guards.
That would hold John Stockton back. That would hold John Stockton back. The fact that he scored enough.
But
that's not what held him. That's nothing held him
back. That is what
back.
held him back.
What side
That
you're
is
gonna
what held
give
him
energy
back.
on?
Hold on. John Stockton is great at assisting, and he can score, and he always had the green light. Ain't none held John Stockton back. He's a
he didn't always have a green light.
He didn't always have a green light to score.
Because Isaiah Thomas even said if Karl Malone wasn't there, he could drop 30 a game.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
That would help him back.
And Stockton has actually done it when he averaged 27 and 15 in the playoffs in '89. But they didn't win the championship though.
They just underachieved. Karl Malone and John Stockton just underachieved.
Hold on, but just because Stockton and Malone lost, I'm not going
you have to be favored to underachieve.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. See, you're confusing with underachieving the championship acumen. The one thing that we know, especially with the Jazz getting to the championship back-to-back years, is that those two leaders had championship culture and acumen. To get their back-to-back years, whether you win or lose, you got to have two leaders on your team that are willing to sacrifice and do everything it takes to win championship. Just because they came up short,
coach?
Just because they came up short when they got there,
a Hall of Fame coach. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on.
Nah, he helped create the culture, but
Isn't George Karl a Hall of Fame coach?
Correct, and that was where Melo's best.
Didn't he have two Hall of Famers in Mello and Iverson?
Yes.
Gary Payton got to
Okay,
a
so what
finals with
happened?
him.
Those two players, because the NBA is player driven, those two players didn't have championship habits.
But
They weren't
you're
good.
saying the reason
Championship
you're saying
roster.
Lamont to say that the reason that they lost is because they didn't have championship habits.
The year that the
is not
Lakers,
true.
the year that the Lakers lost to
It is
Detroit.
true, bro.
Hold on, the year that the Lakers lost to the Detroit Pistons, what was going on off the court with the Lakers in that locker room? It was stuff. It wasn't stuff that was built on
Carmelo.
championship culture. It was a whole bunch of
Carmelo, okay, before the
infighting.
finals.
It was a whole bunch of infighting, a whole bunch of selfishness, a whole bunch of stuff that you only see in losing teams. When it trickled into their
that's true.
championship culture, they lost
That's true.
We
to a team
understand.
like
true.
the Pistons with championship culture. See,
That's true.
Championship culture. I'm not saying you even have to get there and win, but championship culture will give you multiple opportunities to win. So when somebody in the chat said, "Oh, LeBron James has failed," yes, LeBron James has failed, but he has championship culture. He's gotten to the finals 10 times.
This is my
So let me
this
get
is my
this straight,
last thing on Mello.
Let me see
This
if
is
I'm
my last
understanding.
thing on Mello, and I'm gonna leave it to y'all, and I'm gonna end my debate on Mello. When we started, I said that coaching matters. Now, in the NBA,
Not an NBA level.
Yes, it does.
It does matter. Hold on, it does matter. But when you talks about getting to championships, it's the players.
Man,
Like I said, Mello's best team and best coach was 07 through 09. The Denver Nuggets with George Karl. They were balling, and they were one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They lost to the Spurs dynasty, and they lost to the Lakers dynasty.
They lost because of what the one thing you can say about the Lakers and the Spurs is
But they beat
had good.
everybody else.
Hold on, they had good culture.
He beat
Hold on,
Dirk
everybody
Nowitzki and the
knows.
Dallas Mavericks.
Everybody knows that the Spurs had great culture because they did it multiple years. It wasn't just no 1 year
With a Hall
thing.
of Fame coach.
No, they did it with multiple years. They did
With
it
a Hall of Fame
because,
coach,
and
yeah.
that's because their two or three best players were always they had championship culture. They did not let that team lose its culture.
Instilled by who?
Greg
Instilled by
Popovich
who?
was coached those players. Hold on, Greg Popovich was known as one of the hardest coaches in the league. But
Exactly.
Tim Duncan followed the lead of the coach, so
Yeah.
everybody else
Correct.
took the line.
easily, but
That's the part that Mac Def is missing. Mac Def's missing that point. Like
I
the
just
culture,
said coaching.
Yeah, hold on.
I told you
No.
coaching matters.
No,
bro.
listen.
So when y'all talk about the
Culture-
New York Knicks, it's like
No,
he
we
wasn't
said
gonna
culture,
win.
not coach.
Mike
Winning
Wilson was a
culture-
good coach, bro.
No,
Mike
winning
Wilson was a
culture.
good coach, bro.
Winning culture.
Yes, coaching
starts
matters
and-
in a winning culture. You
No,
can't
no.
have a winning culture without the coach.
Yes,
No, listen.
they had the coach.
Winning culture.
They didn't buy
It
in.
starts and ends with the best player, though. It starts and ends with the best player. That's what we're trying to say.
Carmelo bit into George Karl's philosophy. That was his best
No, he
team.
didn't.
What I'm saying
No,
is
he
that
didn't.
y'all saying
Hold
he
on.
didn't have a championship
But Mac
mentality
Def,
because
Mac
he
Def.
lost. And I'm saying, dog, he
Following the
lost
coach's
to two
philosophy,
dynasties.
following the coach's philosophy is one aspect of being a great leader in the NBA. That's just one aspect of it.
He lost
There's
to
so
two
many other.
dynasties. I'ma
One
end it
thing,
like that.
the one
That's all I
see
got to
what Carmelo could have did was if let's say if Carmelo would have sacrificed some of his scoring, maybe deferred to some of these other guys and actually play harder on the defensive end.
Whatever.
That's called
That's
sacrificing.
your opinion. That's
called
No, that's not
hold
an
on.
opinion.
That's
That's
not
It's
a
the-
say.
it's
We
the
don't
Knicks
know
that
that.
really cost
You
them.
don't know that.
The Knicks
That's
moved that
how
cost them,
basketball
bro.
works.
Hold on.
The fact
You know,
that
I'll
we
give you.
spent this much time
Hold
on
on,
Carmelo
I'll
Anthony
give
is
you a good
absurd.
example. I'll give you an example. When Steph Curry, MVP, when KD came, what did he do? He sacrificed his scoring to do what? To help Kevin Durant fit in so they can win
Are
a
you
championship.
talking about a super team?
Mello sacrificed his shot attempt.
Hold on.
Bro,
We understand.
We've
I
hold on.
get
We've
exactly
seen
what you're saying.
We've seen super teams lose. So let's not act like super teams
I
can't
get
be beat.
exactly.
why
And super teams,
I get exactly what
super
you're
teams
saying.
generally
I
lose
get
because they
exactly
get
what
in
you're
their
saying.
own way.
Because of that. They
I
got
get
I'm not gonna
exactly
say
what
they-
you're saying.
I'm not gonna say they
But
generally lose.
there's nothing that Mello could have
Yeah, they
done
generally
to
win.
beat the. There's nothing
They generally
more
win.
Mello could have done to beat a
So,
dynasty Spurs
on.
in their
So,
prime and
hold on,
Kobe
hold on.
in his prime.
Hold on. Didn't the Dynasty Spurs get beat?
They could have beat Kobe in
Yeah.
that.
Hold on.
They
Didn't the
won in
Dynasty
07,
Lakers?
Kobe won in
Didn't the
08 and
Dynasty
09.
Lakers get
Lakers,
beat?
bro.
Didn't the Dynasty Lakers get beat?
Twice.
Okay,
Yeah, you said
and who
super
did they
team.
get beat by,
You said
LeBron?
super team, not
okay.
dynasty.
That's all I'm just asking.
Super team. Super team.
But no. They got beat by teams with good championship habits. and
Dallas
culture.
wasn't no super team, and Dallas beat them. So what,
A
what's your
team.
point?
The
You're
Pistons
not
weren't
gonna.
no super
You're
team.
not gonna beat the Lakers if
That
you're
was
not
an
working
upset.
as hard as them. If you don't have
That was
that
an
culture, if everybody ain't invested in
That was
winning.
not an upset. That was.
It don't matter
they
if
got
it was an
swept.
upset or not. They lost.
They got
That's what I'm
swept.
saying.
Yeah,
They lost.
to Dallas.
That's not an upset. They got swept.
They didn't
They
get
didn't get
swept by
swept by
that.
Dallas.
They did get swept.
They did
No,
get
they
swept.
didn't. They
They
lost
did get
4-2.
swept.
They got swept, bro.
They lost 4-2.
You talking about the Heat?
No,
the
no,
Lakers.
when
no.
Dallas
Lakers
swept
got
the
swept by
Lakers.
Dallas.
Yeah, they swept the
Oh, you
Lakers.
talking about the Lakers? Yeah, the Lakers got swept.
That's not an
Oh,
upset.
you
In the
talking
first
about
game.
all right. No, we're talking
No,
about
I
the
thought
I
Heat.
you
can't
were talking
believe
about the
we've been
Heat.
They
arguing
weren't
about
favored.
Carmelo
No,
Anthony
we
this long.
good with Mello.
They
To
swept
me,
the
y'all not gonna this debate.
Listen,
I
Mac Def,
appreciate,
you
but
you
y'all
wanna
not
you
gonna just
wanna
tell me
listen,
Mello
Mac
didn't
Def.
have championship
You
mentality.
sitting
He
here
was done.
arguing over a dude that take a whole bunch of long 2-pointers. Like we done with this argument, man. We not
Bro,
about to
he's
sit
top
here.
10 in
Long
scoring. He's about to be top 10 in scoring.
Hold on.
Sit
Hey,
here
we can go
Thank
to the
you.
next
and a
player.
nigga that
Hold
played.
on. How do y'all
What's the
feel
next
about?
player?
How do y'all feel about Chris Webber?
Another
Damn,
underachievement.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on.
He won everywhere he was at.
Man,
What
that
you
shit.
talking about? He should
Chris
be in the Hall of
Webber's.
Fame.
Hey,
No,
Mac Def,
You
fuck
know,
you, man.
nah.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
you know how I
Chris
feel
Webber
about
should be in the Hall of Fame.
Fuck
you know
him,
how
man.
I
Hey,
feel
Lamar,
about
fuck
Chris
him,
Webber.
man. Fuck him.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Chris Webber.
Bro, y'all
Lamar.
love players that play no defense,
No,
bro.
Chris Webber
Hey.
had no accountability, man.
I think Lamont made this whole stream for niggas like for Mac Def specifically.
Facts.
Cause you sitting
Yeah.
here arguing with every fucking player he come across.
No, they love
That's
offensive
No,
dynamos
the
that play
only
no
player,
defense,
the only
bro.
player, because I
And you
agreed
guys
with
love
him on
defensive
Allen
players
Iverson.
that play
Allen
no
Iverson's one of
offense.
my
You guys,
favorite
what are you
players.
talking
Okay,
about?
I
one out
agreed
of the
with him
5
on Allen
players that he
Iverson.
already named. Oh, cool. Woo. Chris Webber a no go. Next to
Listen,
mine. I
Chris
don't even want to
Webber,
waste no time on this.
hold
shit.
on.
Waste of time.
Chris Webber won everywhere he was at. When he was
Yeah,
with Golden
man.
State, he took him to the playoffs. When he was
What
with the
did he
Washington
win?
Bullets, he
Did
took
not
him to the
hold him out.
playoffs.
Did he
When he was
hold
with the
him?
Sacramento Kings, he went to the Western
What did he
Conference.
win?
Everywhere he
Listen,
was
Mac
at, he was
Def.
from.
Mac Def. Understand this clearly. I'm gonna just say this once. Chris Webber was the reason why they lost because he called a timeout in Michigan. So where's this winning everywhere he went shit come from?
Facts.
Was he? Did they win?
No, they
Did
didn't.
they go to the
No,
Did
they
they win?
lost.
They won it.
They lost.
I understand that they lost a championship.
Just say
But
he
I'm
was
not.
in
I'm not saying
contention.
You talking about he
he won
won
everywhere he
everywhere
went.
he
I'm not
go?
saying he won a championship everywhere he went. I'm
Boys in
not
the
saying that because we know Chris
Man.
Webber ain't got no rings.
You just
What
said
do you
he
But
mean?
to say,
Everywhere you
to say
go.
Chris
What
Webber
you talking about
didn't win
then?
everywhere he went is to say Reggie
Man, how
Miller
come every
didn't
time I'm
win.
always
He
listening to
did
the show,
win. He
Mac
just didn't
Def
win
always
a
happy?
championship.
Hold on, Mac Def. Let's stop doing.
Because we're not.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Listen,
Hold on, Mac.
he had
You
no
gotta
accountability,
stop.
bro.
You got to stop bringing up college because the coaches have all the control in college, not the players. The coach is going to force a certain coach
And I
on the
agree.
team,
And I agree with dude
regardless
right
of what
here.
you want. Regardless
Who
of what
I
you
agree
want.
with
Who
Jeff,
washing their
with
clothes,
great
bro?
Jeff. LeBron does get
I'm
praised
about to wash
for
the
losing
dishes,
finals. I agree
Now,
with
hold
great
on,
LeBron
Jeff.
does not
I
get
just got
praised for
in. I
losing
just got
finals,
in
bro.
here,
And if
right?
you praise LeBron for losing finals, you need to stop doing it.
How
You
come? Hold
crazy,
on.
man.
I got a question for y'all. How come every time I get on here, Mac Def always capping for somebody?
That's
These
what he
niggas
do.
Like
love players
every
that don't
single
that's
bring
what
no
time.
he do,
defense,
man.
bro. They just like offense. That's that 2K shit, man.
He was like, what's the dude that was on ticket?
I
I
can
think he
barely
said
hear
that.
y'all. Hold
Oh,
on.
the dude, I think his name James or something. He was like, oh, Chris Webber
You
better than
still in?
LeBron. Cause
Yo.
Chris Webber better than LeBron because he never lost in the finals. Like, nigga, what?
That's
Yo,
the
Mac
stupidest
Def.
shit I've heard in my life.
You know Chris Webber blamed every single coach that he lost. Every single one. Every single one he lost.
Hey, stat on business. What it do, man?
What's up, bro?
Oh Lord.
Man, it's been a while. Anti, shut up. Shut up.
I, oh Lord.
It's
Lee,
been
what
a
up?
while,
What
man.
up?
Yeah, y'all ain't been there for a minute. I was in here other night though, man. March Madness.
Did you kick Mac Def out?
No, I didn't kick him out.
No, he's
Right
still
back.
in here.
No, but
Good. That nigga
seriously,
left.
but
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he's
but
still in here.
but seriously, salute
He's
panel,
still in
salute anti, salute Khalil, salute
Lee don't
Salute,
Lee
Lee.
don't like that nigga, bro. Lee don't like that nigga.
Hey, but nah, y'all peep that the Lakers, we back on the winning streak now. All the haters quiet, but as soon as we start losing, watch all the haters gonna pop out the water. Like, oh
Yo,
yeah,
what's
they
good?
done.
Out of nowhere,
They
they
done.
we
Hey,
got
but
the
look,
Lakers beat a
Watch.
back-to-back.
But look,
the
it's like with
Jordan
me.
team
Look,
back-to-back.
Brooklyn, I got to give Brooklyn their props, right? As it stands right now, they playing better. They still got bad habits, even if you break down the video, but they winning games. I give them their props. I said they deserve to be number one in the power rankings right now. I got to
We
give that
don't
to
want
them.
you on the bandwagon.
Hold on, but
No
the
one's-
problem is this. The one thing I know for a fact is the playoffs are completely different, right? And the bad habits that they have will still translate over to the playoffs. And just like we talked about with that Carmelo and Allen Iverson led team with the two best scorers in the league and a good coach, it don't always work in the playoffs when the game changes up.
Hey, Mac Def,
Man, they
Hold on.
hold up.
some Brooklyn
Big
niggas, bro.
Dell,
These
hold
dudes that
on,
we could.
Big Dell.
What's
Big
good?
Dell.
What's good?
Good.
Julius Randle was fucking y'all up. What you think Joel Embiid gonna do to y'all in the playoffs?
Boy, Julius Randle, All-Star. Boy, what you talking about?
Julius Randle was fucking y'all up. What you think Joel Embiid gonna do to y'all in the playoffs?
Julius Randle ain't no MVP candidate like Joel Embiid.
I know James Harden the front runner right now for MVP.
No, he's not.
And y'all better stop sleeping on LaMelo Ball before he come and get that number 5th or 4th seed.
Hey, y'all acting like Joel just this killer. He need to prove it. Put
Hold on, let Lee go. Hold on, let Lee go real quick.
He need to prove it. James Harden need to prove some shit.
James Harden need to prove it.
Fuck you, mean?
Hold on, go
James
ahead.
Harden got a longer track record in the playoffs than.
We ain't got no track record. He got a track record of losing.
Harden got space. Let him answer his question, bro.
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead. Who had a question? Go ahead.
Hey, bitch's head this playoff.
Hey, Lamont, real quick, and then we can get back on subject. Hey, Lamont, I've been watching your videos lately. I've been busy lately, but you're a lower gamer an apology, man. What's wrong with you, man?
Hold on, how?
Don't bring that up, Lamont. Come on now.
Lamont, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You are such a troll, man.
Hold on, I wasn't trolling.
He did that to himself. Lord Gamer did that to himself.
I was not trolling.
Oh my
He did that to himself.
Lamont, I swear you
some some shit
Lamont,
like that.
Hey, Lamont, I swear you work for the CIA or something.
Dark skinned man. Hell no. Hell no.
You bogus as hell.
Hey,
hold on, but you know what though? Hold on. I can't even take all the credit because Goat Mike have been saying for the last 2-3 weeks that ain't him, and nobody believed me. So we got to apologize to Goat Mike because we was talking shit to him about that and everything. Goat Mike was right the whole time. And Goat Mike was right. Goat Mike literally called me saying that ain't him, Lamont. He said that ain't him, and we didn't believe him.
Oh man.
Shit.
But anyway, back on topic. You were talking about.
Hold up. Back on topic. Fuck Chris Webber. What is dude talking about? James Harden is the MVP candidate. Where you at, son?
He left.
He left.
Hey, panel. I really gotta ask a question, and it's about who just left. First, Allen Iverson. Okay, I understand. Carmelo and now Chris Webber. Why? Why?
I think McDuff's like niggas that like to lose, dog.
They love that.
Well, he glossed over.
They got niggas that play no defense, bro.
So let me
He like niggas that like to lose, dog.
They stand on business. That is that skip to my loo and one type basketball. That's all that is.
Like y'all, when y'all talk about Allen, like when they talk about Allen Iverson, nigga, his legacy is at least he got one game off that goddamn Lakers team that destroyed everybody. I'm like, that's his legacy.
That's
dog,
a ring, damn near.
Hey, and the worst part is those are the same type of people that would say Draymond Green is a bum.
Niggas like that never play real basketball, bro.
It's not that Draymond Green's a bum. He's just not a glorified superstar. You know
man, who in here eating pistachios? Man, meet your mic, bro.
Hey. Hold on. Why is Draymond Green a bum?
Who said that?
Nobody said he's a bum. He's not a glorified.
That was 999 Sports Debate.
You said he is a bum.
Why is he a bum? You just said he is
barely that. He's barely an all-star. He's robbing people for all-stars.
How is he not an all-star?
Because other people are better than him, and they having better seasons.
Okay, so why is Draymond Green a bum?
Nobody said he was a bum. I said he's not a superstar. He's not a Hall of Famer by himself.
He is a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
Bro, if you look at all the advanced metrics, Draymond Green has been the best defender.
Hey, hold on.
He's not on the great team.
Basketball Hall of Fame standards.
Bro, what is he doing
How
this
do you
year?
feel?
Hold on, so he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a because he
Hold on. Did you just ask what is he doing this year?
He's a Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is that.
Basketball Hall of Fame is low.
Hey, how do you feel about Dennis Rodman?
I was just about to ask that.
Dennis Rodman is a good player. But what I'm saying is, if they're not on great teams,
Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer.
No, of course, but because he's on great teams is where they could.
But
show
he led the league.
He made
He's trying to.
If they're on a scrub team,
if you ain't averaging,
he's trying to say if you ain't averaging, averaging 20 points or 30 points, then you're in the Hall of Fame.
Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer without the great team. What is you talking about?
That's what he's trying to say.
He's talking about every team that Dennis Rodman went
That's not what I'm
to,
trying to say at all.
defense Skyrocket.
I'm saying what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying defensive plays, all right, great defensive plays, all right, they stand alone. But if they're not on a great team that knows how to score or has that ability, then their defensive
They can't control it.
intangibles
I mean, they can't
whatever.
control it. They
You
just
can
go
say
out
that about
there.
offensive players. You can say that exactly about
Yeah,
He can be a
offensive
great
plays on
defensive
trash
player
teams,
and
they're
make your
still gonna
team
give you
great.
30.
Man,
They're
Bill
gonna
A
have
la
in
Akeem
the game.
Olajuwon, a la Jimmy Butler.
And you make a fair point. However, when Dennis Rodman was on the Spurs weren't a great scoring team. It was
No, of
David
course,
Rodman
and the Spurs
and a whole
really
bunch
weren't.
of stuff.
And what were the Spurs doing?
Come on, they lost to Akeem Olajuwon.
Somebody said Dennis Rodman not a Hall of Famer without the Bulls.
That's not
crazy,
the
ain't
point.
true.
He's great, but he's like a glorified glue guy.
The Bulls won the three-peater without that nigga in that motherfucker.
Those
Who
are
just
glue
said
guys.
Dennis Rodman's a glorified glue guy?
Hold on, y'all gotta go one at a time.
Who said about Hakeem Olajuwon is not the point, Mac Dev. The point is you don't have Dennis Rodman was such a transcendent player that he didn't have to go to a team surrounded by a whole bunch of great scorers in order to impact his team. That was the point I was making.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
No, I agree.
But you can't compare him to Draymond though. They like
it's actually a good comparison.
It's not comparable. No, it's not.
I actually think it's.
I mean, he a better scorer. He a better scorer than Dennis Rodman.
That's it.
Hold on, no, because Dennis Rodman couldn't handle the ball like Draymond.
No,
he couldn't
exactly.
play make. He couldn't pass. He couldn't do all of
He
this.
couldn't no offense like Draymond, man.
No, yeah,
Draymond Green is literally the point guard right now of the Warriors.
Hey, you guys are looking at the skill set, dog.
That's true.
Dennis Rodman dominated a part of the game that makes him a Hall of Famer.
Defensively, it's not comparable.
Draymond Green is dominating a part of a game that makes him a Hall of Famer.
No. Dennis Rodman dominated multiple parts of the game. He ain't dominated.
So is Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond is
dominated. There's a difference between dominating.
Bro, go look at the metrics, bro. Draymond Green's been the best defender.
Speaking up, I have a question for the panel. And Lamont, I already know what Lamont's going to say. He and I have talked about this, but would you guys say Draymond Green? This answer is going to let me know who really knows basketball. But do you guys think Draymond Green is a more valuable player than Charles Barkley?
No.
Hell no.
Yes, he is.
Barkley carried teams.
I mean, but hold on.
It's hard to. That's really hard. The only reason it's hard
to gauge. That's hard to gauge, man.
That's not even hard.
No, it's not hard.
No, that's not a fair.
It's not hard.
It's easy to gauge.
Come on, bro.
Hold on. That's
an example.
Hold on. That's not a fair question because it's two different.
No, let me give you an example. We'll gauge it.
The styles of play are two different. What was required of Draymond Green? You got to think. Draymond Green. In reality, is not supposed to be in the league. He's undersized guy at his position. When he came in at his position in NBA, they were saying he's undersized. Nobody thought he would last in the league. He wasn't. He had to niche out in a completely new role that we'd never seen in the league to really stick. Dennis Rodman, we knew what he was coming out of. We knew what Charles Barkley was coming out of college. We knew what he was when he was with the Sixers.
Undersized too.
All right. We knew what he was. He was still. Hold on, but he still. But you knew it.
He was drafted in the second round.
But he didn't have to carve out a new niche. He was what he was when he came in the game. He was always the go-to scorer with the Sixers. He was the go-to scorer when he went to the Suns. He was they didn't ask him to play defense.
He won 6'4".
Barkley was a trailblazer for a Draymond Green.
This is so disrespectful, yo.
He was just an undersized guy. That's why offensively it was amazing what he did. But I don't like to compare because you can't compare those two players. They're two different types of players.
I did not ask that question for offensive purposes. I asked that question for one reason.
It's not just offense, bro.
Well, defense is not close.
Yo, that's crazy.
So would you rather have if you had to choose between Draymond Green or Charles Barkley on your team? You're choosing Draymond Green.
Look up Charles Barkley's numbers.
I was waiting.
Look at Charles.
I'm taking Draymond. I don't care what y'all. I'm taking Draymond.
I'm taking Draymond or Charles Barkley.
I'm taking Draymond. Hold on. I'll explain why I take Draymond.
Yeah,
Charles Barkley, he just scored.
But you know what though?
Michael Jordan was even making
look.
fun
I'm
of
gonna always go with the guy who won an MVP.
Hey,
That's crazy, man.
I can't cap on Barkley like that. If you win an MVP,
crazy.
If you win an MVP. If you win an MVP in the NBA, I got to go with the MVP over.
I respect that,
not just the MVP.
Over the guy without the MVP.
I respect that, but basketball is offense and defense. Michael Jordan even was making fun.
Steve Kerr's a better 3-point shooter than Reggie Miller.
Michael Jordan was even making fun of Barkley's defense.
Well, why Draymond ain't do nothing with that Golden State team?
Draymond, he could, even though
they didn't have much of a team. That's why.
Draymond probably not
now
going
they
to put
didn't
up
have much
30.
of a team. Wow, so team matters now.
Draymond probably not going to put up 30, but Draymond, he could put up like 15, 10, and 12. Like,
hold on, let me ask you this. Hold on,
That's crazy, yo.
When has Draymond Green ever been a great scorer?
He hasn't.
Game 7.
Okay, so last year when they lost Steph Curry and they didn't have none of their scores, why would you all of a sudden expect him to be a great scorer?
Nah, I didn't. He was the one that
because hold on, you said why did
Draymond Green himself said he could average?
Well, you got to show me that video. What I'm saying is,
he did say that.
And the thing is, I haven't ran across an NBA player. I haven't ran across an NBA player that didn't believe they could score 20.
So exactly.
So they all believe that to a certain degree.
If he believes it,
so what I'm saying is this right here, and just because you score 20 a game don't mean you're a good player, because we see what that 20 a game Lou Williams got for the Clippers and Montrezl Harrell didn't get him nowhere. So just scoring 20 a game don't mean shit.
I think they got them the second seed in the West.
He got him ran down by the Denver Nuggets. That's what
3-1 lead. That's what they got.
Hold on, man.
I was just waiting
Whoever
to
take the value of one of y'all eating, man, you need to mute your mic, bro. Don't nobody want to hear you eating.
And I was just waiting on who would say yes, because the people who said yes, they were thinking about the defensive side of the ball. That's the reason why I asked the question.
I say I take
It's not even that, man.
Like I said,
Barkley dominates multiple facets of the game, man.
What does he dominate?
He was a good rebounder.
Like, come on, man.
Hold on.
Yeah, and why y'all think rebounding don't equate to great defense?
Hold on. Barkley is an MVP, man. Let's not compare guys who won MVPs to guys who didn't. Draymond Green is the ultimate role player. Like, give him that. Exactly. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's a great glue guy. He does his, he does. Mm-hmm. But let's not compare him to a guy who won an MVP.
Come on, man.
Nobody is
disrespectful. That's way disrespectful.
But I mean, he's a value.
It's not the same thing.
To his team.
Most valuable player.
He said
most valuable player.
No,
I
said value to a team, not most valuable.
Exactly.
You put Barkley over
valuable player. Charles Barkley won a award that says most valuable. That's enough said. It's over. It's over. It's over, man.
You guys want to?
Barkley is over
Draymond, though.
It can still be argued, though. It can still just because you want
it cannot. I want the drugs you want. I want them drugs.
No, let's be specific. He put himself in position to win that award. Michael Jordan should have won that.
Hey, if anybody makes an Ether video about that, don't include me in that one, because I say Charles Barkley is MVP. Man.
Like, come on,
Draymond Green is not. That is sad, dog. It's sad for people to think that Draymond Green is on a Barkley or Scottie Pippen's level. He is not.
No, I didn't say Steve Kerr was a better 3-point shooter.
I'm not saying as an individual player in a vacuum, he's on that level. I'm talking about a value to their specific team.
He's not even a value, bro.
It's arguable.
Exactly. Reggie Miller. The Charlotte Hornets was a great team.
If I'm star number 10 and
I said the Miami Heat. I said the Charlotte Hornets had a squad, just like I said the Washington Bullets.
Man, Miami wasn't no great team in the 90s either.
I said they had a squad.
Okay, so if they got a squad, that means they're a great team then.
I think Miami underachieved.
We just got to judge these guys honestly.
No,
but look. Back to my argument with the winners. I want to say this: if you can still have a championship mentality and not have a ring on your finger.
That's true.
There are multiple. Listen. There are a lot more Hall of Famers.
That's all I asked for.
And there are a lot more Hall of Famers that's in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot more players that's in the Hall of Fame with no championship rings than there are with rings. To say that those players that don't have championship rings don't have championship mentality is disrespectful, dog. It's
I know, but Mac Def, that's what we've been talking about the entire day. You just now catching on to that?
No, because the player that I said has a championship mentality. That's what we was arguing.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, hold on.
Anthony doesn't.
To say Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, they don't have championship rings. Patrick Ewing.
Who said Reggie Miller? Nobody said Reggie Miller.
Chris
Webber, no. Hell no, not Chris Webber.
Whoever in here eating, man, you bugging. You bugging, man.
Bro. Whoever said Carmelo said out his own mouth. He cared about the money. He ain't tripping off a ring. He said out his own mouth.
This nigga in here eating pork rinds, trying to have a basketball.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but Carmelo did an interview, and I think I remember him saying like his first year in the NBA, he wanted to quit after that. Cause he said he wasn't used to playing them games like that back to back in the league. Like that's one he said in the interview one time, bro.
Well, he should have quit. That would have prevented all those long 2-pointers he took his whole career.
Nah, no, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest scorers that this game has seen, dog.
Okay, we ain't taking that away from.
That's not what we talking about.
That's it.
Go ahead. I'm done talking about Mello, dog. I just wanted to make that point.
Hey, Mac Dev, do you be trolling? Hold on, I gotta say, do you be trolling? Like, it's a serious question. I'm not trying to be funny.
This isn't Mac Dev.
Hey, I'm sick of seeing that losing spell.
They both lost to go Mike in the debate.
Lamont. Does Dominique Wilkins make this list?
That's what you guys are doing. You guys are capping.
What you say about Dominique Wilkins?
Does Dominique Wilkins make this list? Does he make this list?
Is Milkins?
My fault. Wilkins.
What the fuck is that?
Does he make this list?
Hold on. Hey, if I'm being honest, if I'm being just honest about it, I can't say because I haven't done enough research on Wilkins. Now I've heard that I've heard that Wilkins did not play defense at all. I've heard that, and I've heard that he just wanted to score the ball. But I'll be lying if I acted like I knew enough about his game to say what he was or what he wasn't. I don't.
Hey, that's all you needed to do. You got all his DNA right there. He wanted to shoot. And he didn't play no defense.
And generally players who just don't want to play defense like that, they don't have it. They don't have it.
Hey,
they don't. You don't have. If you don't want to play defense, you don't have championship acumen.
It's not just about defense, man. Because think about. Hold on.
Hold on.
Listen. And hold on. Listen. Real quick. Guys like Dirk can't play defense to save his life, but he affected the game different ways. You know what I mean? So it's not just about playing defense. It's also no. That's different argument. But
Larry Bird did play defense.
Hey, let me ask y'all something.
He had defensive IQ, bro. He had
Championship acumen is more than just one thing. It's not just defense. It's about your leadership. When we look at Tim Duncan, it was about his ability to fall in line with Popovich, so everybody else fell in line. That's championship acumen built culture. With Dirk, there were other things that Dirk did with regards to culture, leadership, playing his role, sacrificing. That also helps too. But I'm saying that's champion. So we can point to things that all of these great players did that actually either got close or won championships that add up to culture, championship acumen. There's nothing that Mello did or Iverson and all these guys that we're talking about, McGrady, that led up to championship culture. That's not biased because Chauncey Billups said it. Chauncey Billups said out of his own mouth.
Players, not all players.
Hold on, Mac Dev. I just caught this now. Did you just say what Lamont just said in terms of championship acumen? Did you just say loyalty?
For Dirk, when we were talking about Dirk Nowitzki, yeah.
Oh my.
Just anything but Mello, man, because I feel like this shit Mello about to get brought up.
No, we didn't say. I agree with him. Like I said, I agree with him on Iverson. I agree with him on Tracy McGrady because he shouldn't have fucking left the Toronto Raptors with Vince Carter. They was cousins. I couldn't believe that. Okay. But I agree with Iverson. I agree with. There's certain players I agree with Lamont on, and there's certain players that I don't. LaMelo, you agree with Tracy McGrady?
I got another one. Here, I got another one for y'all. Again, it's not more as popular as Mello, but I feel like he falls in the same category as Steve Francis.
Oh, everybody knows that nigga.
Man,
ain't
I'm
no
not
championship.
finna talk
That nigga
about
was
no
in
crack.
the club. That nigga was in the club.
I'm not finna talk about no dependent. Man.
Steve Francis.
He called that nigga dependent.
Come on,
Hey,
dog.
shout out to Steve Francis. He's from Maryland. I ain't gonna talk negative.
Yeah,
about him.
He brung up Stevie franchise. Come on,
stand up
man.
business. Stand up business. You ain't right.
Oh, gee, every time he went to Atlanta, he dropped a triple single, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all just mad because LaMelo Ball finna be in his MVP conversation.
Hold on,
Hey, you know what? Hey, shut your channel down, bro. Shut your channel down.
So, hey, Lamont.
Hey, LaMelo Ball fans, I think they make up hate.
Hey, but
everybody I know loves LaMelo Ball. But
Take
LaMelo
the
Ball
Mac off
fans,
your name, nigga. Your
LaMelo
name
Ball
is
fans
Bell.
be trying to make it
Hell
seem like
no.
everybody hate him.
Nah, I ain't
Nobody
gonna lie.
hate him.
Hold on, I ain't gonna lie. It is a
Nah,
lot of.
they did. I see what
Take
they
LaMelo Ball off they team. They in the
I'm
lottery.
talking about no. Yes.
There's some hate.
Before he played a game in the NBA,
before
he played a game in the NBA, yes. After he's been playing in the NBA, there's nobody who's been hating on LaMelo.
Nah,
yeah, because they can't hate on him. They can't
score. After his first game, he didn't score a point. Everybody like,
hold on, no, not everybody. Ticket was.
You ain't about to. You ain't got to.
Why LaMelo Ball ain't in the MVP conversation?
He's not.
Because he's not an MVP.
Man, you just like that name Mello. I'm truly enamored with Kenny Mello. You just overhyped.
Hey, hold on.
One of my favorite movies was Sugar Hill. Now,
he's probably saying Fab Mello was the
They
next
said he should
Will
have been the
Chamberlain.
all-star starter.
Did you say Fab Mello was the next Will?
But
this nigga was dressed up like
listen.
this nigga dressed up like Hoodie Mello on Halloween. I guarantee you.
If the Hornets did not have LaMelo, they in the lottery. Facts. Now, out of all the MVP candidates, who's been the most consistent? It's not Harden. It's not James Harden.
Joel Embiid. And Jokic.
But he's hurt. But he's hurt. So get out of there.
LeBron.
Damian Lillard.
They ain't gonna give it to LeBron, but it's LeBron.
He's Damian Lillard. I got him in my top 5.
LeBron. Yeah, they came back tonight too.
By the way, I got LeBron James.
Yeah, I got
LeBron James.
But it wasn't because of LaMelo. It wasn't because of Carmelo.
Hey, please don't break. I don't even know why I brought Portland, man.
I'm not gonna say that. But to me, LaMelo has been the most consistent all year, not just in rookie.
Yes, he has.
One of the NBA players. He's been one of the most.
That's not a
consistent.
revelation. We know
that. I don't want to say nothing negative about LaMelo.
Mac Duff,
He started out kind of trash.
Didn't he come off the bench?
He came off the bench.
First 10 games.
He started off trash.
Yeah, he was putting up great numbers off the bench.
He didn't start off trash. He came off the bench. That wasn't his fault. That's the coach's fault.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on.
Was having like 9 or 10.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Come off the bench.
Bro, you can't be average.
Go ahead, answer.
Hold on. Let me ask the question.
I'm gonna ask you a question about how come nobody gives James Borrego and Jordan and all them credit for playing it slow? Because when all of the fans, when everybody was calling for LaMelo to just start right out the gate and get thrown into the fire, they ignored all the outside noise and they did it their way. They brought him along slow. They brought him along slowly.
They don't deserve credit.
They helped him. They helped him.
Yes, they did.
Hold on. They helped him catch on to the. They helped him catch on to the NBA game. Now that they brought him along slowly, and then they integrated him into the starting lineup with the core group that they wanted to see, because we all know that they didn't really want to keep starting Devontae Graham. I think it was just because they needed to bring LaMelo on slowly that they had to start Devontae Graham. The fact that he got injured was kind of like a blessing in disguise. But I still think Terry Rozier is going to get traded. My thing is, why don't Jordan and James Borrego get the credit that they deserve for helping build him up the way that they have? They still get tore down for not starting him right out the gate.
I'll tell you why, Lamont. Because of Sean May, Adam Morrison, and a whole bunch of other Michael draft picks in the past. And he's getting punished for it. And I agree, he should get some credit. But you know, Michael Jordan's not going to get any credit.
It's not the draft pick that I'm talking about. It's how they changed their strategy up and how they brought him along.
Yeah, they just didn't throw him in the fire.
Lamont,
they changed it up.
To me, throwing a player in the fire is more.
Lamont, I agree with you 100%, but people are still going to use the past.
No, yeah, I know, but they would have, if it was the same Charlotte Hornet organization, they would have did it like the past and just threw him out there and said, "Oh, we got the number 3 pick. Let's start him right now." They said, "You know what?" They said, They knew he needed to learn the NBA game a little bit. Ben Simmons said that first year when he had to sit out, he said he learned more that first year sitting out than he ever did in any other year in the league.
That's every rookie.
And so sitting out may have done him a lot, especially because the point guard has to be the smartest player on the floor. You have the hardest job on the floor.
I think they probably learned from. I think they probably learned from their mistakes with with the
that's what I'm saying.
draft pick.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna learn from their mistakes.
I give them credit
I'm more
for
of a proponent of throwing a player into the fire at first, so they learn from their mistakes on the fly.
Not to cut you off, but some rookies they ain't got that. They just come in their first year and they start cooking. Now everybody. I'm not saying LaMelo ain't got it, but it takes time to learn. You gotta process certain information before you just jump out there.
No, but see, people should have tempered their expectations. When you throw a point guard in a fire like that, you gotta know he's gonna be a high turnover player. He's gonna make mistakes, but you got to be able to live with that. But when you put a point guard out there and he's learning from his mistakes on the fly, it's gonna expedite that process.
And he wasn't weak coming off the bench neither. He was still that dude.
It can also hurt your confidence because we saw the Pistons throw Killian Hayes right into the fire right out the gate, and that man looked rattled and never recovered.
But
he never looked like
Melo's
he
not cut from that cloth though, because Melo's been thrown into the fire since he was a shorty. That wasn't gonna shake his.
I know, but
even when he was coming off the bench, he was still making mistakes, and that could have shook his confidence.
He was, but what I'm saying is, out of all the top 10 players, they knew the least about LaMelo because he only played 11 games in Australia. He hadn't played in over a year. Some of these other guys were fresh out of college. We saw more of them. There was more footage. When you look at LaMelo in the JBA, how seriously can you really consider that footage? Because there was multiple guys in that league putting up 70 and 80 points in a game. So how serious was that league? When he went to Australia, yes, he played with pros, but they were still the worst team in that league. So, and you only had 11 game sample size to really judge him. When he came in, they didn't know where his conditioning was because there was no summer league, there was no preseason training camp, none of that. They really didn't know what they had. So I think they were put in a situation where they had to bring him along slow until they knew where he was at with his conditioning, mentality, game, all of that.
I agree with that, but I'm not going to give them credit for doing that because, I mean, like you said, all the signs point to that. I think personally, if they would have threw him to the fire, the progression would have been the same, if not quicker.
I think the progression would have been the same because now he's shown that he's just that good. But I don't think nobody knew. No, if you thought he would be this good this soon, you're lying. Nobody thought he would be this good.
I think he would.
I wasn't on the panel
I thought he
when
would be
you had those conversations.
I didn't think.
Like I said, I remember after his first game, it was people already calling him a bust. I think he scored 0 points.
I would think he dropped like.
I was on LaMelo's bandwagon since last year. People on Ticket Channel was laughing at me. Yeah. I said both him and Lonzo would both be good in the league. Everybody was talking shit. They gonna be now. Yeah. Everybody's. I'm seeing more people hop on the bandwagon now. Now that he's showing that he's good, nobody had the fortitude to jump out there and say that he would be good before he even played the game in the league.
I wasn't on the panel, but I watched the highlights overseas. I saw flashes.
The highlights overseas.
I have an idea what players are going to do what from watching.
Hey, Lamont, what other player you got, bro?
What?
We already went. Race? No. We talking about the losers.
I think we went through most of them.
Hey, Khalil.
Let me pull it up.
I'm not gonna call them losers per se. They just don't have championship mentality.
What up?
Hey, and Khalil and staying on business. What is the deal with people being so obsessed with Chris Webber? I really want to know.
I didn't know that was like that.
Nobody's obsessed with him.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like that with him.
Hold on, I got.
I mean, I guess
who's obsessed? Hold on, who's obsessed with Chris Webber?
Chris Webber's.
They have an impact on the culture.
No, Chris Webber's NBA career.
A lot of people really
not strong enough to get him to the Hall of Fame.
Nah, but it's probably his effect on the culture when he was with the Fast Five.
His NBA career. Hold on, his NBA career. Everything he did in college and high school got eradicated from the record books. It cannot be considered for his Hall of Fame credentials. So you have to base his Hall of Fame strictly on NBA, and what he did in the NBA is not Hall of Fame. Where if you can add his high school and college onto it, yes, he gets in.
No, but they do add that. They do add.
No, but everything he did got eradicated out the books. Like
even if they wanted to count the Fab Five, you can't count it for winning because he called a timeout and they lost.
It's the impact of the Fab Five.
You can't do that just because the goof ass NCAA tried to eradicate.
It's the impact of the Fab Five, man.
He still
no, that wasn't just the NCAA. The man was in court testifying on people.
But still,
Oh, no,
it's
yeah,
like,
he had no accountability.
I don't agree with snitching, but like I said, you feel me? I'm not going to eradicate what the man did.
No, but
on the court.
hold on. To be a part of the committee that puts people into the Hall of Fame, you have to go by those rules. So going by those rules, you can, hold on. It's not. I don't make the rules. The rules are what they are.
Yeah, but whoever's doing that is corny as hell.
His NBA career isn't strong enough to get him into the Hall of Fame.
Take away those black socks and those long shorts, and what did he do?
Well, hold on, but let me ask
That's a big impact, though.
Like, when we making this list, right? Are we talking about like players like who was great but they never won a championship?
No, it's just about because even if they didn't win a championship, did they have that championship fortitude?
Because he says Kyrie Irving didn't have a championship mentality, and Kyrie Irving is a champion.
He don't.
So it's not about
they have to have a championship mentality.
He don't have it, but Kyrie Irving won a championship by default.
Because I want to say,
I'm saying by default, man. He's not a role player.
I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but would Elgin Baylor fit on this list?
No.
Hell no.
I don't know because I didn't see enough.
The league circumstances was different back then. You had one team that had a monopoly on the whole league.
I mean, if you want to talk about super teams teaming up with each other and losing in the finals, they were the first quote unquote super team to lose in the finals. Let's keep it.
I mean, that's Elgin Baylor. You can't disrespect Elgin Baylor. The league was way different, bro.
Hold on, but I'd much rather talk about players within the last 20 years because, to be honest, ain't none of us really seen or know enough of Elgin Baylor.
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying the fact.
I know, but we know he didn't win a championship, and it's not even about winning or losing the championship game. It's about culture. Are you big enough of a leader to build the culture yourself? With Kyrie Irving, when it was his responsibility to set the championship culture for his team in Boston, he failed big time because there was too many locker room problems, infighting, and all this stuff when he was there being the leader. And it was like a breath of fresh air when he left.
And in Cleveland too, because that's why he got socked in his eye by Deion Waiters because he was in there trying to run shit.
Them boys in Boston was chasing after they bag too, so they was worrying about.
It wasn't the money; it was Kyrie Irving's attitude.
Gordon Hayward had a lot. It wasn't just Kyrie.
It wasn't just Kyrie though.
You can't blame Kyrie for that debacle.
Who was the leader of that team when Kyrie got there? Wasn't he expected to be the leader of that team?
Absolutely.
Did he fail?
He had championship pedigree too, coming off the championship.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Did he fail? Did he fail? Yes or no? At being the leader of the Boston Celtics?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because if he didn't fail, then they wouldn't have let him walk away in free agency.
We can't say that either because Danny Ainge is not really, that really.
Yeah, hold on. Didn't Kyrie Irving say at the start of the season? Kyrie Irving said at the start of the season, I would love to be back in Boston. Boston didn't want him back.
True.
All right. So what do you think had more of an impact? Kyrie or the coach starting Gordon Hayward and sitting Jaylen Brown? Stopping
they already tapped with Kemba Walker.
No, that's man.
Coming.
Listen, man. It's not. Yes, Kyrie was the leader, but at the same time, it wasn't just him. There was plenty of factors.
It was the coach. It was Gordon Hayward. I agree with you. It wasn't just Kyrie.
What percentage would you give Kyrie and all that?
He deserves a lot because he was the best player.
What percentage? What percentage?
I don't know. What do you want me to do? 60,
it don't matter.
40.
He failed at it when he had his opportunity.
60 exactly. It's 60, 40, whatever. 50, whatever.
He was so caught up into himself, he didn't know how to develop and build championship culture with his own team.
Dog, you can't place that all on Kyrie. He wasn't the whole problem. So Kyrie told the coach to start Gordon Hayward, who wasn't even 100%, and sit Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, because
coming into his own.
Yeah, but you know what though?
That's what I'm saying.
If you have good culture on your team, you know what would have happened? Jaylen Brown would have accepted his role. He would have bought into his role, and he wouldn't have mentally checked out.
That's not Kyrie's fault.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Come on,
Kyrie doesn't have nothing to do with it.
Yes, it is his fault.
Way back into
Time out.
I don't agree with that.
So was it LeBron's fault when J.R. Smith felt some type of way with D-Wade?
That's different.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
No, that was hold on. That was LeBron's fault.
How?
That was LeBron's fault because one of the main things you got to do as the leader of your team at the NBA level is you got to stop all that. Weren't the Cavs playing horribly when that infighting happened?
Right.
They were playing horribly. So it shows. So whenever your leader allows this type of infighting and shit, it affects what you do on the court. Well, now when they started trading players and they cleaned that bullshit up, they got back to doing what they do.
Hold on. But you still didn't answer the question. How is that a LeBron fault that J.R. Smith he took the ball out when the game was tied? How was that LeBron?
No, that's a mistake.
I was saying the D Wade situation.
Everybody makes
mistakes. I think he said J.R. Smith.
Lamont, I think you're putting way too much on the players, and
the NBA is all about the players. And the NBA is all about the
considering the players. So who was more important? Hold on. So who's more important?
This ain't college, bro. This is NBA.
Extreme said J.R. Smith. He said
exactly, but nobody wins without a good, headstrong coach, except for LeBron James.
No,
hey, yo, Mac Dell, bro, you gotta Kyrie even called LeBron and apologized for criticizing him as a leader because he failed as a leader. Like, come on now.
We understand. I'm not saying Kyrie doesn't have chance. I'm not arguing for Kyrie. I agree with him. I'm saying on the Boston situation, that wasn't entirely Kyrie Irving's fault.
It was.
The coach had something to do with that as well.
What jersey was Kyrie Irving wearing when he
that a
called
player
LeBron?
has more pull than a coach is not true.
MacDef, what jersey was he wearing when he called LeBron?
I don't know.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
What jersey was he wearing? What the fuck? What does that mean?
Because you sit here talking about it ain't Boston. He was in a Boston jersey when he made that phone call. So that's telling you that he took full responsibility. You can sit up here and argue that he didn't.
For what he said. You can't. For what he said and what he did and what he did in Cleveland. He's taking full responsibility for what he did in Cleveland. He's not taking full responsibility for what he did in Boston. No, he's not. He's apologizing for what he did in Cleveland.
No, he was talking about Boston. He said he was talking about Boston. He said he didn't know what he was doing. It was a bigger responsibility than he thought. What are you talking about?
Exactly. But exactly what you're saying. But he also said, in saying that, he's saying that, yeah, I fucked up by choosing to be the man and leaving Cleveland because I didn't know how hard it was going to be in Boston. But he's not taking responsibility of Boston going losing.
Yes,
that's
he did, because
on the
when they was losing, that's when he made
it was
the
a whole
phone
bunch
call.
of shit that went on.
Boston didn't lose during that time, bro.
Man, they lost.
Boston's a loser. They was going on a losing streak when he made that.
They was
call.
losing. That's why he made the call. That's why he made the call, because they were losing.
Boston.
At the NBA level, at the NBA level, whenever you have an extremely talented team with as much talent and you start losing games like that, with your team, there's something with your team culturally that ain't going right. It's usually something going on in the locker room, something silly, something stupid that, and it's teams with good culture can fix it. Teams with bad culture can't.
And I'm telling you,
when you look at the Sixers last year, when you look at the Philadelphia 76ers last year, the culture was bad. Ben Simmons wasn't even coming to the facility to practice with the team because of problems that he had with certain staff members in the practice facility. Correct. I mean, everything was all a mess. No culture. And it didn't surprise me to see that it failed, that things fell apart when it mattered, even though there was an injury, even though they injured. Doc Rivers changed the culture. Doc Rivers helped change the culture, but the only way that culture works is if your two best players buy in. Now, what has Ben Simmons doing?
Doc Rivers' fault for the Clippers losing a 3-1 lead. That's what they're gonna tell you.
No, it wasn't. That was on Kawhi Leonard. That was on film. Will tell you that. The film will tell you.
I agree, but I'm saying that's the ticket, and all I'm gonna say. Oh, it was Doc Rivers' fault. Like Paul, that's what.
It's convenient to blame the coach. It's so convenient to always blame the coach when you want to sound right, because that's like a default argument. It's a bad at the NBA, players control it. At the college level and high school level, coaches control it.
I put it on both. I put it on both Kyrie and the coach in Boston.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
So, like, hold on. I do think it comes down to this. When it comes to championship culture, it is 70% of the players and it is 30% of the organization. Organization does matter. Like, it does. Championship culture does start from the top down. You can't say like all the success that Jerry West had on the influences of teams winning, Pat Riley, Greg Popovich, and all the staff San Antonio Spurs. Those cultures last for a long time because they didn't just have the players, but also have a competent front staff to help those players out. You know what I
I
mean?
see what
Like, that matters.
Hold on.
I'm not saying
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's the end all be all.
The organization is more
Listen,
important.
I'm
To
not
be
listen.
honest.
Listen, I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it is at least 30%.
I see
Hold
what
on. Let me
I'm gonna
ask you a
I think
question.
it's 60-40.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna give you a question. Before Jimmy Butler went to the Miami Heat, was there any doubt in anybody's mind that he could be a great leader and he always brought real tough and strong championship?
There was no doubt.
Yes, there was no doubt.
So it doesn't surprise me that when he got to the Heat, he got with an organization that also had those values. Everything meshed well, and they got to the finals.
Yes, but he also said it himself.
He
said it himself.
I'm not
he
talking
felt home there.
No. What I'm saying is, it's easy to recognize players with this attribute, even if they're in bad situations. I can look at players around the league now, like Steph Curry's in a bad situation right now because they just don't have the personnel, the players to really compete night in and night out the way they want. That doesn't mean he doesn't have the championship acumen in him. He still has it in him. Russell Westbrook's made bad mistakes sometimes in game. Those are mistakes in game. But his leadership and what he does with the team is going to eventually lead to him winning the championship one day. You don't have to believe it now. You don't have to believe it now. But at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook's better than a lot of these players. A lot of the players that y'all want to put above him.
All right, Mac Def, I'll give you a better example. Hold on, let me answer this. So Mac Def, let's just say Kevin Durant, right? He's hurt right now. He comes back. If he starts to play defense and it's a trickle-down effect and all the rest of them start winning games because of their defense and offense, who's attributed that to that more, Durant or the organization?
It's going to be contribute to Durant.
Okay, thank you.
So what's the? I don't get your point. What's that?
Well, the point is
that
it's the player. The player is what dictate everything. It's not the organization. If Durant don't play defense, then they don't win. If Durant does play defense, then Kyrie gonna see that, James Harden, and all the rest of those guys gonna see that, and they gonna start playing defense.
I agree with you saying on that part. I agree with you saying on that part. But there are different. There's different situations. There's completely different situations.
It's on the organization to set the culture.
That is true.
It's on
but that's the point that I'm trying to make. So if Durant go there and play, because we all know D'Antoni and his whole thing is non-defensive. Like he's never been a defensive coach. So if Durant go over there and start playing lockdown defense, everybody else start doing it and they win. That has nothing to do with the culture.
Yeah, nobody's going to be calling D'Antoni a mastermind at defense.
Okay, then.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make.
But that's a separate situation from what we was talking about.
No, it's not. I
can tell you how an organization could break up a dynasty. Like we seen it with the 90s
Bulls. We know.
So who was more important, Phil Jackson or I put it to you like this: who was more important, Phil Jackson or Scottie Pippen?
Well, what do you want to say, Michael Jordan instead of Scottie Pippen?
No, I'm saying I didn't even say Michael Jordan. Who was more important, Phil Jackson or Scottie Pippen? We know who Michael Jordan is.
That is hard,
who was more important, Phil Jackson or Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen.
That is hard.
Scottie Pippen is
tripping. Phil Jackson was more important.
I mean, I look at it like this.
That's hard, man.
Phil Jackson was way more important than Scottie Pippen.
You can put supplementary pieces around.
Phil Jackson is a top coach, one of the top coaches of all time.
Phil Jackson was more important.
Minimum top 3. Minimum.
Yeah, top 3, but Scottie Pippen, you also got to factor in that Jordan, he didn't get out the first round without Scottie Pippen. He got a losing record without Scottie Pippen.
He got the second round.
But who was on the coaching staff?
No, he never got no.
He got the first round. He got the first round.
Tex Winter was on the coaching staff.
He's 1-9 in the playoffs without Scottie Pippen. Look it up.
No, that's true.
He was.
I'm saying he got the first round.
In 86 and 86 and 87, 85, 86 and 87, he lost in the first round. Milwaukee, Boston. In 88, when he won the MVP, he had Pippen and Horace Grant as rookie. But who was on that coaching staff as an assistant in 88? It was Tex Winters and it was Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson ran the defense. Phil Jackson made Scottie Pippen. Period.
I'm not gonna say
it wasn't Jordan that made
I'm not gonna say no coach.
Phil Jackson made Scottie Pippen.
I agree with him to this degree, and this is why I agree with him.
I agree with him 50.
That's why I agree with him on that part. This is the first time I ever agreed with Mac.
You're finally coming around.
This is
Go
why.
ahead.
So let me explain why I agree with him. Because when Tex Winter was on that roster, when they had Doug Collins, the ball was in Michael Jordan's hands. When Phil took over, he took the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands and let Pippen bring the ball up and do all that. So I give you that. I give you that.
Hold on. Stop right there, Khalil. Stop right there. Now, This is where the championship acumen kicks in with Jordan, because he could have bumped heads with the coaching staff and said, "Fuck that! I'm the scorer. I'm the best scorer in the league. You ain't taking the ball out of my hands." But he sacrificed what? Scoring to do what? See, part of being a great champion is the sacrifice. See, that's what I talked about. When I talk about some of these players, did any of these guys on my list, did they sacrifice like Jordan did? Did they sacrifice to for the betterment of the team? They didn't. So that takes a player to do that, because if Jordan when Jordan sacrificed his scoring, that means everybody else on that team says, shit, we better sacrifice too, because we up out of here. That takes Jordan falling in the line with the coaching staff the same way Tim Duncan did with Greg Pop. When he falls in line, everybody else has to fall in line. You have no choice.
But did Jordan sacrifice scoring?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, because before he was averaging like 37 points a game. Back then, he was winning all those scoring
Jordan didn't
titles.
sacrifice his scoring. He said the system better work with me scoring.
That's not what he said.
He sacrificed the
He
way
did say that.
scored
He did
into
say
a
that.
Jordan ain't never sacrificed his scoring.
He
He did. He sacrificed the ball dominant style of scoring into a more off ball style of scoring.
Thank you.
Whatever. Jordan ain't never sacrificed his scoring.
It's
Motherfucker averaged
That's how
33
you
points
know
a game in the
Jordan
playoffs. He
came
ain't
to the
sacrificed
league
his
and did
scoring.
whatever he wanted today, and whooped LeBron ass.
This
Yeah,
organization does matter, though.
because his attempts went down.
Look, the organization matters. Hold on. And Michael Dudley, come back in. Hold on. The organization. Hold on. We got somebody new in. Cam Dudley, what's good?
Yo, what's up?
You was trying to get in. What you got on this topic?
Oh, y'all talking about Jordan, right?
We talking about everything.
This was a dude that was getting. Never, my bad. Go ahead. He was getting cooked the other day.
I
know who it is.
Before we just start capping on the panel. No, I'm just playing.
Ain't nobody cooked me, boy.
Nah, you was the one that was like, because you claimed that you were a LeBron fan, but you was capping for the Nets. I remember it was you, Mr. Winters, and Mike Depp. I remember we was on the panel. We was cooking y'all. I remember you.
Yeah, the Nets are gonna win.
Nets ain't gonna win shit, man. Come on.
He came on the panel. Why you got to ether him as soon as he come on the panel?
Damn, man. Let's see what he got. Let's see what he got on the topic. What you got, little homie?
Hey, what's it called? You said something about the championship increment or whatever.
Acumen, bro.
Acumen. Oh,
I can't spell the word neither.
Well, you said Kyrie don't have championship acumen, right?
Correct.
Okay, tell me why he deferred to James Harden. He said James Harden, the point guard.
He didn't defer. He hasn't deferred. He didn't.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, I'm gonna
take the most shots on the
hold
team.
on. I can answer that question for you. For one, it's easy to defer to something that you can't do. So when Spencer did, when he went down, and they said, Kyrie, we need you to run the point, and he looked trash at it. Well, he knew that he couldn't run point. It's easy to defer when it's something that you're trash at.
That's what I was telling Natalie in the chat.
So what are you talking? Like, he didn't defer. Like, he's still playing. He's really just a small. He's really just a small shooting guard. Kyrie Irving's never been a point guard. He's never been a point guard. He's a small shooting guard. He wants to play too, and he's shooting just as many shots as he always has.
He's taking the
He's
most
not
shots
sacrificing anything,
It's
and he's still not playing any defense.
It's like
he is playing great offensively though. He's shooting 52% from the field. So,
bro, I said that when there was a trade rumor, Harden was going to the Nets. I'm like, Harden should be the point guard, man. He been doing this shit for 10 years, man, and he got more gravity than Kyrie. Better passer. Like, it's not even a conversation.
No, no, I'm not comparing James Harden to Eric Snow, but it's kind of like Eric Snow and Allen Iverson. Like, Eric Snow was a better point guard than Allen Iverson was a point guard. Allen Iverson, he was a better shooting guard because he would take all his shots. He would do all that back. What you call it? Eric Snow, like, he would manage the game and keep everything under control.
And Harden had the ball in his hands in OKC, too.
And Kyrie also, of course, LeBron.
No, go ahead and finish.
Hold on. I want you to cook yourself. Go ahead.
No, but with the LeBron thing, with him and LeBron.
What about him and LeBron?
Yo, did he take more shots than LeBron though?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
What the?
But yeah, Kyrie, like,
I can't believe I just answered your question. I feel like a fucking idiot. I thought it was like something else. Like you can't lead up a punchline and then where was the punchline at? Like,
nah, he just cooked himself. Shit.
No, I just
he was finna try to say that's when he sacrificed, but he took no sacrifice.
No, but LeBron was the point guard, though.
That's because Kyrie can't run point. He's trash at it.
He ain't trash.
Yes, he is.
LeBron, they say LeBron got to the team and played with Kyrie and seen he had one assist. They say, "Oh, let me take the ball out this little nigga hand."
No, Kyrie was taking dumbass shots, and LeBron kind of measured him.
No, listen, that's more
the ball out his hands and
LeBron put a lead shot.
Think about it. No, that's more a testament to LeBron's greatness. Because think about it, he's the only player to win with the second option complete playing different positions.
Thing is
like
that
Kyrie was the
LeBron,
point, Wade was the 2, and David was the 4.
LeBron, he a leader. Like he gonna check all that. DeAndre Jordan, he the supposed leader of the Nets. He gonna let everything slide.
That nigga ain't the leader of the Nets.
Hold on. You said
DeAndre Jordan.
hold on. That's what KD said. Hold on. KD said DeAndre Jordan the leader of the Nets. I ain't saying
that motherfucker need to be the leader.
Hey, Kyrie is balling offensively though. He got top offensive.
And he should be.
Kyrie's always been balling offensively.
No, but I'm
always
talking
been
this
great
year is different because he's efficient this year.
Kyrie's always been efficient. He's damn near averaging 50, 40, 90 for his career. That's never been a
He
knock
wasn't
on.
efficient last time he was in the playoffs.
I can't. For a point guard,
hold on,
that man.
Hold on,
everybody knows.
I'm not talking about his skill set. I'm talking about can you be a leader and galvanize your team as the best player to start instilling championship values?
Like
no, I know what you're saying. I was just putting that caveat. I'm not agreeing
about
the whole time. I'm just saying offensively he's been balling.
When we talk about leadership, man, this shit be making me fall back from the Nets a little bit, man. Because think about it, man. None of the leader team emotional leadership championship, and D'Antoni, he'll let them go out there and crash.
Man, which one of y'all niggas eating
when we
ice,
talk
man?
about leadership, I get worried about the Nets.
DeAndre Jordan the leader. Hey.
I think James Harden is the leader.
Nash should do anything D'Antoni say.
KD said DeAndre Jordan the leader.
That's what
he didn't say James. He didn't say James Harden. He said DeAndre Jordan.
I think KD's been out too long, man. No one's talking about it.
Player need to be that. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like never mind. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want to.
James Harden is the leader of the team.
That's bad, man.
I mean, if James Harden the leader of your team, you ain't winning no rings, bro.
But D'Antoni's the leader of the team defensively.
Oh no, hell no. That nigga ain't. He ain't. I hope he ain't putting in no schemes for defense, cause
hey, the Nets they need Taco Fall the leader. Fuck you talking about?
They don't have to be this like juggernaut defensive team. If they can be middle of the pack defensively, they have a much better chance to win.
They still top 5 in worst defense. They almost come back in the clutch.
One thing that I know in basketball, anybody that's hooped at a high level will tell you this: when you get to the playoffs or whenever you get into crunch time games, you always revert back to what you originally do. I've seen that as a player. I've seen that now that I'm coaching. Whatever your team naturally does, if you don't do it over and over, if you don't do these principles from day one to the end of the season, you can't just hit a switch and be like, "Ooh, let's try this defensively. It's gonna work." No, that shit don't work like that. Defensively, when the pressure comes on, you're gonna go back to going under
old habits.
You're gonna go back to bad habits. When you get tired, when you get your body starts getting adrenaline in it, you're gonna do everything is off muscle memory and what you normally do. You're gonna go back to bad habits. That's what they do.
In the chat.
But they can always
develop that in
shot,
20 games,
man. Every time down the floor.
This is why the Clippers got bounced out of the playoffs because when the shit got hard. When shit got hard. Hold on. When shit got to crunch time for them. When Denver made it 3-2, and they was like, "Damn, we got to worry about this crazy ass team." The game started getting reeled in, and they went back to old habits of Kawhi Leonard not playing defense off ball. Same with Paul George, nobody communicating on defense, and then they got burnt up. And then in that game 7, y'all really know what happened. Then they got their ass fucking destroyed. They completely folded.
How did the Clippers not have enough when Vegas picked them as the favorite?
Everybody had. No, hold on. It was culture. Hold on. It was culture. It was culture. Culture. Their culture was garbage.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about Lil Homie. He said that they didn't have enough to win. Like where?
That's look, crazy. Vegas is cap.
No, Vegas
that's not true at all.
Vegas is most unbiased.
This is the team to beat right here. They looked at them and said, "This is the team because of why? Because they had enough talent to win."
Everybody was riding.
They was beating the Lakers in those 7-game series. It was not beating the Lakers last year in those 7-game series, bro.
Well, Vegas thought so.
It was not beating the Lakers last year in the 7-game series.
Well, I mean,
that's easy to say.
We'll never get to know because they lost to the Nuggets in the second round. So
I was thinking the Lakers was regardless last year. The Lakers was going to win.
The Lakers was garbage last year, but we
said regardless. I mean, that's fine, but I know what most of the pundits on TV had.
Hold on, bro. If the Lakers was garbage last year, wouldn't that make the Clippers?
He said regardless.
He said regardless. He didn't say they was garbage.
Oh, they said garbage. My bad. I didn't say garbage.
The Clippers matched up well with the Lakers.
Two best players other than Kawhi and Paul George.
Hey, we'll never get to know.
Hold on.
Montrezl
Harrell and Lou Williams both averaging 20 a game.
But they were unplayable in the playoffs. They was unplayable in the playoffs.
You know what be killing me is when these niggas they be acting like basketball is like real like matchup out. This matchup on Elway. That shit is not how basketball works.
Hell no.
I was talking to these niggas about the Nets earlier. They was talking about you feel me that that the Nets got 3 players that you can't stop. They don't understand that this basketball shit, you can only score once a possession, bro.
Right.
And when Philly slow that game down, bro, and when Joel Embiid is at the line 15, 20 times a game, and he's shrinking in possessions, all that shit don't matter. You make
because what they fail to listen, fam, they failing to realize this one important aspect, and I'm gonna talk about Joel Embiid. When you give him the ball 20, 30 times a game, that's taking away possessions from the Nets.
And they're going to get in foul trouble, too. Somebody going to get in
all they backland.
If Simmons get in foul trouble early in the game, that's an automatic loss.
I think
Ben Simmons.
That's an automatic.
Hold on. When does Ben Simmons ever get in foul trouble? He's one of the smartest defenders in the league.
Yeah,
and they got Matisse Thybulle. Like, they got guys they can throw at the ramp. They got guys they can throw at.
Hey, Danny Green can play defense too. Y'all can say, but
they be cooking Danny Green now.
Man, Danny Green is too slow.
They don't even be needing screens for Danny Green.
Yeah, right. That's not true at all. That ain't true at all.
Right.
Too slow.
Yeah, right.
Danny Green is showing his age this year, man.
I mean, he getting older, but I mean, his role not to be.
He's showing it. He's showing it this year, bro.
Wait, hold on. Let me say something real quick. And I know this is cliche, and we all done heard it before, but this is the God honest truth.
Here we go.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. I swear to God, dog. On everything I love. No, I'm just fucking with you.
That shit was not funny.
Yeah, shut your shadow down, Macduff.
Hey, man. Hey, I got a question, man. I was talking to some folks earlier about this, and I know it's not too late, and this shit can happen. But
no, LaMelo Ball for MVP.
Nah, bro.
Okay. My fault.
MVP then.
But now, what I was about to say is, let's say if Steph Curry team doesn't make it to the playoff, will that hurt him as far as him being an all-time great, and will that be like a knock?
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
If you miss a playoff in your prime, that's a knock on you.
Hurt him too
man.
bad.
You gotta get that team to the playoff.
And he need to win again without KD. That's what I mean.
Okay. So
I think championship-wise, he's solidified.
Okay, but if he don't make it,
but if he don't make the playoffs, that's an indictment on him.
That's bad.
That means it's more of a team than him leading them. That means it was more.
It's easier to make the playoffs.
That's why it's a team game, though. It's a team game.
You're right about that. If Curry would have missed some games, if Curry would have missed like 20 games, then yeah. But he's been there.
He's been playing.
He's been the catalyst.
Last year they were saying, the reason why they didn't make the playoffs because he was hurt.
Nah, but a lot of people's notion on the Warriors was it's more a Warriors system than Steph Curry's greatness. So him not making the playoffs, that validates their argument.
So what people gonna say that Steph Curry he can't lead a team to a championship because he didn't make
he's not good enough to lead a team to the playoffs. If you can't make the playoffs,
not a championship, just the playoffs, bro.
Playoffs, yeah.
If you can't lead your team to the playoffs, that's a question on whether you a leader or not.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett
not a leader, not a leader.
put the Timberwolves in the playoffs every year in that
No, I
Western
said I
Conference.
didn't say
more so his
leader. I
ability.
said elite.
You question
I
his
said elite.
ability.
If you
Hold on,
elite,
but
if you an
it's
elite
not
player, you think
necessarily
you'll get
true.
to the playoffs.
That's not necessarily true, especially this year. Now that they got the playing game, like you can play bad and coast around and be a 9 seed, get to that playing game. You can get to the playing game and cheat your way in. So, like this year, like it's hard to really even validate that because this year is different. There's been no other year in the NBA where they've actually said you can have a playing game.
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Because you got to go back and look at all the other 9 and 10 seeds ever in NBA history and say, oh, well, if there was a playing game, they could have potentially made it too because they would, it's not a
makes it easy.
That's a now.
Nah, yeah, that's even.
Hold on, should they be playing better? Should they be playing better? I think it's hard to say. I mean, they did integrate a lot of new pieces in. It's a lot of new pieces, but at the end of the day, for them to still be in the mix in the Western Conference that we all know is tough, it says something. I mean, they're still in the mix.
Well, they had a team.
But if you unanimous MVP,
it's
easy to make the playoffs. I'm not trying to hear that.
That's going to be a narrative that Curry haters
have a good enough team to make the playoffs, man.
Like I said, if Curry was missing games, then yeah, but he's there.
Yeah,
but my thing is, he's already showed that he can lead a team to a championship. Like he's done it before.
He has his hurt his legacy. He's not going to be like
he had those supplementary pieces though. That's
the thing is he don't have no Finals MVP, so like they gonna put that into an equation on top of him not getting to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, this is just you're not questioning his leadership. You're not questioning his leadership. This is all legacy. That's
it's all legacy.
He goes into that realm of elite players.
They already talking about Dame is better than.
Because I don't say nobody.
Dame will never be better than Steph.
No, he's not.
Dame,
Curry cooked him too many times.
Hold on. You put Dame on that.
He can be. He got time, but he's not better, bro.
You put Dame on the Warriors.
Lost that argument when he lost to them without Kevin Durant. He lost that whole thing. So
yeah, he's on double digits every game.
And Curry cooks Dame every time they play.
Yeah, facts.
But Dame's still younger.
Put Dame on the Warriors right now. They
that nigga
ain't no.
just dropped 49.
Well, he came. I mean, Dame is a clutch guy. Like he gonna give you some clutch.
I ain't gonna lie. Like,
hold on. Y'all need to stop. Don't like that. Portland is my team, but didn't Damian Lillard trick enough of y'all going into the playoff bubble last year? That's how I won $500 off of SAR that he didn't pay me.
I feel sorry for you.
He said what?
Last year
it's gonna be okay. I'm surprised you ain't killed yourself.
Hold on. Last year in the playoff bubble, Dame was dropping them 40s and 50s on everybody, amazing and wowing everybody. But when it got to playoff time, and you had to play a real team,
look at
you got your ass shut down.
It's not, but it's easy to game plan against them.
Yeah, they little guards.
It's easy to game plan against Portland.
It's playoffs is different. That's why.
No, but I'm saying, that's in a playoff series. It's easy to game plan against them.
Hold on, think about it. The last 3 years, they got eliminated by the champions.
It's easy to game plan against
a
team that don't play defense.
Pelicans 1 year when
easy to game plan against a team that don't play defense.
That's true, but
that's fact.
But that don't mean anything. The last 3 years, they only got eliminated by the champions. Every team they lost.
They got split by Anthony Davis and them, and they didn't win no championship.
No, I'm saying last 3 years.
The Warriors ain't won a championship.
I don't care that he got eliminated by the champs because nobody was picking LA to win it last year anyway.
Yes, they were.
No, they wasn't.
They was picking the Clippers and the Bucks. They was picking the Clippers and the Bucks.
Lakers was 13.
No, we wasn't. No, we wasn't.
The Clippers and the Bucks.
Stop trying to sell them as this underdog, man. They wasn't like that.
Wasn't nobody picking the Lakers. The top 10 teams last year, everybody was picking the Clippers and the Bucks.
He said the Nuggets had a higher chance of winning a championship than the Lakers. I remember saying,
especially when they was in the bubble.
Who said that?
When they was in the bubble.
I remember.
When was that?
And the Lakers were playing trash in the bubble.
That's why people was in panic right now, saying they not even going to.
No one ever picked the Nuggets over the Lakers, man.
I'll pull up the picture right now. Hold on. Let me.
A lot of people was picking the Nuggets over the Lakers.
That's crazy.
Well, that was all memory bias. Anybody with 2 eyes that work in common sense knew that the Lakers would beat the fucking Nuggets. Let's just get serious here.
No, I'm saying, you knew. I'm saying people.
No, hold on. But by the time the Nuggets came around, the Lakers had already activated. We knew what time it was. I'm talking about when the playoff bubble ended and they were going into the playoffs. The Lakers were playing trash. And everybody was playing,
but
Dame,
still,
the way Dame is playing, they gonna come and beat him. I
Yeah,
said,
they
hell
y'all.
no. Who said that shit?
Nah, a lot of people.
That was gonna be a
Besides Charles Barkley. Besides Charles
The
Barkley.
Lakers
Who
were
said that
shooting
shit?
so bad from
Ticket
three.
said that. Ticket. Didn't he bet money on that?
Yeah, it
Y'all
was
be
a
putting
lot
y'all
of
money on
The
Charles
whole
Barkley.
Rockets
media was
fans.
panicking on
Y'all
that.
listen to Charles Barkley, then put y'all money
Oh
down.
hell no.
Hey, Barkley
Oh.
brought out the broom.
That's what I'm saying. He's a goofy. I don't like
Game
him.
one.
And
Y'all
hold on.
crazy.
Matter of fact, it was not this past game. It was like before All-Star break when the Lakers blew out the Warriors. I think Ticket said that Draymond Green, he don't play serious on LeBron no more because he signed a Clutch Sports. Some dumbass shit. I'm like, bro.
Man, that nigga that bet on Rocky fights. Ain't nobody taking
The best team to take out the Lakers in that bubble was the Rockets. That's who I was like. That's who.
Man, they
That's
said
what they got to
everything.
do.
They said the Blazers was gonna beat the Lakers. Then when they
I didn't have the Blazers. I was like
He
the
said that
Rockets
shit, man.
because people say
The
that small
Rockets did
ball
have a
don't win,
12
and I'm like, yes, you
The
can.
best team
You
to
can
take
win
out
with
that
small
They
Lakers
ball.
said the
team was the
Clippers. Then when
team
the
they
Clippers
met in
got
the
bounced
finals.
out, they said the Nuggets. Then they said the Heat. Everybody was supposed to beat the Lakers, but as soon as the Lakers went,
And the
the
Lakers
Lakers
won
Bunch of
Hold on.
LeBron James.
Hey,
out
here's
there
the funny
too.
thing. When everybody knew the Lakers was gonna win it all, this is when you heard the next narrative. Oh, LeBron James is trying to score all the points to get Finals MVP.
This
It's like, man,
that's
y'all
what they
said,
Disney
sad,
Disney
man.
World ring.
No, they
They be acting
that's
like they just let the nigga score.
They say
Like,
his competition
like
was
I don't
weak.
agree with that.
I wish I played. I wish in college people let me stat pad shit. I would.
He averaged 60%.
You'd be a lot more richer.
Nah, he did. Hey, last night LeBron did stat pad.
Nah, but this is my thing. It ain't no such thing as
And
stat
I was
pad.
in garbage time. I couldn't even stat pad in garbage time.
They
That
was
shit
up
ain't
like
easy.
28. The nigga
It's
came
no
back
such
in the
thing as
game.
Nah, you know
He shouldn't have
LeBron
did
got
that
to
shit.
come at Curry like that.
I look at it like I said. I look at it like this. It ain't no such thing as stat pad, regardless of who it is. If you don't want somebody to score, play D. If you don't want,
Nah, I agree with you to a certain extent. If you up 20, with the last 30 seconds left in the game, bro, you don't need to be in the
if you don't,
Listen, man. Curry
Especially
said Curry said that it tasted like champagne in that Cavs locker room. LeBron ain't never forgot that shit, man.
Oh hell no.
LeBron.
So any type of humility or humiliation he can provide to Curry, he gonna do it. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Curry
Why they
but I
talking
think
like
his
LeBron might
stat pad
join
last
Curry
night
then,
was
or Curry
more.
might
Hell
join
no.
LeBron?
He's trying
it
to
ain't
get
no
that
such
fifth
thing.
MVP.
It ain't no such thing as stat pad. And if you don't want, if they ain't want him to
Nah,
get that last
there is
rebound,
a such thing as stat
they
pad.
should just.
Yeah, hold on.
Yes,
No,
there is
it ain't.
because I
No,
used
it
to
ain't.
cherry
It
pick.
is, bro.
It ain't no. If you don't want nobody,
Bro, nigga, if you see, but if you up 30 points, bro, and it's like a minute 30 left, bro, you don't need to.
Man, hold on. If you up 30 points, if you up 30 points and I'm still in the game, I'm still trying to get every bucket I can on you. I don't care. That's the thing, man.
And you want to know what
I don't know
stat
where
pad?
y'all play at.
You want to know what stat padding truly is?
You don't. You if you
That's not
up 30,
stat padding. That's just good. That's getting
if you
buckets.
up 30, if you up 30 points and you 36 years old and you played every
That's
game
getting
thus far,
buckets.
but
Box out. If you don't want him to get that,
you don't come back in the game.
You know what stat padding is?
That Ricky Davis shit was stat pad.
You know what stat padding is? If somebody, whoever's writing the stats and they put more points, give you more rebounds. That's stat padding. But if you a player and you in the game and you in between
If
those
the
lines,
game's
you ain't stat
already in
padding.
hand,
You
bro.
playing.
Okay, so how come?
son.
Hold
There's
on.
moments,
Let me
man.
ask you a question. How
If
come
the
stat
game's in
padding?
hand, there's no
How
point
come
in being on
stat
the
padding
court.
only applies to points? What about the rebound? Am I just supposed to
No,
not get these rebounds?
it's rebounds
it
and
wasn't
points.
points.
Hold on. Am I
Stat
just
pads
supposed
do
to?
with everything,
LeBron went
Am I
back in the
just
game
supposed to
to get a
not get these
rebound, bro.
rebounds because I don't want to stat pad?
No. There was
Nah, he
moments when
shouldn't
people
have
was
been
like
back.
close to
He
a
shouldn't
triple
have checked
double.
himself back in the game, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But my
They up
thing is
30
that
with
if
a
they was
minute
the
30 to go.
they was to box him out and not allow him to get the rebound, he wouldn't get a triple double.
Bro, that's not
Nah.
what
There
it's
was
about
moments
though.
when
You
people did
missing the
that
whole
shit, bro.
point, bro. You're missing the point is the
Man,
game is you're 36 years old. The
it's
game is
on the
already
other team to
played.
stop
You
you from
played
stat
every
padding.
game, bro.
That's my thing.
That's the other team's supposed to stop you.
He's in the
Yes,
They
game.
don't
they are
stop you. It's
supposed to
not
stop
stat
you,
padding.
but you are,
Nah,
bro.
Well,
Y'all
they
missing the
couldn't
whole
stop
point of the
Ricky
argument.
Davis because Ricky Davis took a
It's
layup
not
at his
conducive.
own rim.
The game is already in hand. You
That's a
getting
fact.
another rebound is not conducive to you winning. So
I
there's no point in
respect
being on the
what
court.
you're
It don't
saying,
matter though. It's on the other team to
but
stop.
he in the
Stat
game.
pad
It
is
is
a
on
fake.
you, but it's not.
It's
That's what
fake.
I'm.
If you
That's
don't
not
no.
real.
It's not. It's not. It's in the cases a lot of people use it. It's fake, but in that case, he last night he was.
It
putting
don't
stats
matter
up.
though. But
my thing is,
even if you want to call that stat pattern is on the other teams. They're getting paid to hoop too. It's your job to stop them from start to finish.
It is your job to stop them.
If I'm getting paid to
on
hoop, it's
LeBron
my
on
job
the
to do
stat
what I
pattern.
do from start to finish if I'm in the game.
Then
The
if
only
he-
time,
Nah,
the
it-
only
it
time
is,
I'm literally not trying to score is on the last possession of the game and we got the game sealed. That's the only time. Any other time, I'm trying to score. I'm trying to get rebounds.
I'm not saying that's not the case, but if you up 30 points and you 36 years old,
I don't care.
And you played every game,
I
there's
don't
no
care.
reason to check back in the game.
I don't care. I honestly don't care.
I'm saying this.
That's not conducive to winning. I mean, you already had the game in hand. There's no winning.
I respect what you're saying, but if you don't want him to get that last rebound, just box out. If you don't want him to score, play.
No, I understand. I understand if the other team. I'm talking about from a player's perspective. If winning is the most. But this is what I'm saying. If winning is the most important thing, and you looking at championship basketball, you're not thinking about getting.
A lot of times, y'all don't know what's being said on that court. See, a lot of times y'all don't know what's being said on the court. It could be people, coaches, players talking shit.
They up 30.
Hell no.
They up 30 points. What can a nigga say to me that would make you?
Hey, fam, they was up real big and Kuzma airballed it. And who was over there cracking jokes on them? It was Stephen Curry and them, right?
And guess what? When he say that, all you gotta say is scoreboard.
LeBron don't do that against everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoreboard your ass to a triple double.
I mean, look. I'm just being objective and real.
I know you.
There was no reason.
You doing your Mac Def impersonation.
And but I ain't gonna lie, I respect what you saying, but I'm just saying it ain't no such thing as stat padding. If you don't want nobody to score, then play D. If you don't want them to get that last rebound,
hey, you know the funny thing is,
other team standpoint,
the funny thing is, the only people that talk about stat padding are the losers, the team that lost, the people that's on the losing side of it, or the people that don't like the player that was scoring. That's the only time. You never,
bro. You not go. I'm a LeBron proponent, but you not gonna fan no big LeBron.
You will never hear. I've never heard Blazer fans say Damian Lillard was stat padding.
Bro,
if the nigga's up 30 points and he got
hold on. What about
he go in the last 20 seconds.
What about this then? What if your team is down 30 points and you still in trying to score? Is that stat padding?
If you down,
hold on. Because the game is out of hand. The game is out of hand. No, you can't win it. Why you out there trying to score?
Nah, but you down. See, but that's when it's conducive to winning. There's no way LeBron would have lost that game in 30 seconds.
So it's only conducive if you losing. See, that's why stat padding is fake.
Yes,
do you not
see the logic in that? Do you not see the logic in that?
No. But what if he's getting paid to
How
get
do
that
you not see the logic in that?
What if he get a triple double and he getting paid for that?
Hold on. Yeah, sometimes triple doubles is in your contract.
Yeah, it's LeBron, bro. Y'all are just being outlandish.
Who cares? LeBron legacy.
It's LeBron James. Like, come on now, stop with that shit.
It don't matter who it is. Like, I'm not.
Nah, bro. It's not. LeBron James is not getting no more incentives or no damn triple double in his contract.
How you know?
Stop.
Come on,
it's
man.
LeBron James.
He still got incentives in his contract.
LeBron, Raymond James.
If LeBron was smart, he'll have incentives.
Bro, come on, y'all stop, bro.
So if LeBron didn't make an All NBA first team and didn't make the All-Star game, he would be making less.
Hell yeah.
Bro,
if I was LeBron, I'd put incentives. I know I'd be making the All-Star
What is
game.
LeBron getting one rebound going to take him off of All NBA team?
That's pushing him forward towards the MVP race, just like he had a 25, 12, and 12.
But that's why he was doing it. But I'm saying when it comes to championship basketball, that's not conducive to it, bro.
I mean, hold on. He was quote unquote.
How is that, bro? That's not conducive. The man is 36 years old.
Y'all sound like some LeBron haters.
Hold on, 36 is old to you. It's not old to LeBron.
He was trying to get some minutes in with the team.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't
right now, bro.
Dennis, he ain't a LeBron hater. I just disagree with him on this point, though. He ain't a LeBron hater.
No, he ain't a LeBron hater. I just don't believe there's such thing as stat pattern.
Can people stop talking about LeBron's age? Damn, the man is still playing.
Nah, he is still playing with the niggas old, bro. You can't laugh.
Nah, because if he mess up in the playoffs and run out of gas, they gonna say about his age. So
that's not true.
He shouldn't have been out there then.
We on his age.
LeBron is at the age now, honestly, where Anthony Davis should be the best player on that team.
He should.
Anthony Davis should be carrying him like Magic carried Kareem at the end.
Ain't no shit.
Should be getting carried.
Can't do it. He needs to do it.
But LeBron is that dude. I ain't gonna lie. He gonna play. What is he? Year 18?
18 with 10 finals.
He's gonna play until 21.
Crazy how he
better put his head down and drive to the basket.
No, LeBron gonna play until he get that scoring record, and then he out of there. He only need like 3,000 more points. Once he get that,
he gonna wait till Bron
to his son. Yeah, getting
2.5 seasons.
Well, then he gonna score 40,000 points. Then he gonna be the only player to do that.
He gonna wait till Bronny get there.
Y'all act like
Ain't nobody gonna stay healthy.
Y'all
enough
act like
to
he's
beat
showing
Bronny,
signs of
bro.
slowing down.
Facts.
Nah, but
That
it
boy
don't matter
still
about
great.
slowing stands when you're in the
Well,
NBA,
he
bro.
coasted more in the
When the
But you
NBA,
got
when you
dodged
decline in the
injury
NBA,
for
it's just
20
drastic,
years.
bro. You don't got to show signs of slowing down. When you decline in the NBA, it's drastic for most players. You just fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
You
I
gotta
mean,
think about
you can see
You
certain
finna sound
aspects
like
of his
Max
game.
Kellerman falling off a cliff. Nah,
You can see
bro,
aspects
man,
of his
ain't
game
nobody
where
Hold on,
he ain't
like
playing,
Carmelo.
Yeah, Mello
Hold
look
on.
bad.
See?
Mello look
Why
bad.
y'all gotta throw my dog under the bus like
Mello
that?
look
See?
bad, boy.
Come on, man.
9 points in 30 minutes. That ain't the Carmelo I remember.
He didn't fall off a cliff. He just got his parachute on. You know what I'm
He
saying?
did fall off a cliff. He went from starting to coming off the bench.
He didn't fall off a cliff. He just jumped off and got his
Nah, he
parachute
fell
on.
off 3 cliffs. He fell
he's
off
just
one in
declining.
Oklahoma
That's all.
City, then he fell off another one in Houston, then he fell off another one in Milwaukee.
Hold on, bro.
He just got his parachute on, man. That's
Hold on,
all.
let me
Coming in for a landing. That's all.
Let me ask Stand Up Business a question real quick. Like, let's keep it fair, right? And no disrespect to Kobe, but remember when Kobe was playing with Smush Parker and all them, and his team was trash? I don't agree with that whole stat padding argument, but would you say that Kobe was stat padding back in the day?
Hell no. He had to do everything he had to do for that team to make the playoffs.
That nigga had Smush Parker and Devin George on this team. I don't give a fuck if he took 75 shots a game. I'm not gonna ever look at it as stat
No, my
pad.
thing is, like I said, I don't call it stat pad regardless of who it is, but I'm just saying, like, with that whole argument,
I'm saying I only consider it stat padding when the games are fully in hand. There's no chance of the opponent coming back to win, and you go in to get some stats.
I mean,
because think about it. There's weak teams.
Kobe had Chris Mims on his team, bro. You sit here and talk about a stat pad.
If you wanted to say Bradley Beal is stat padding, I don't agree with that. But if you wanted, he has a more
I ain't say
you know
Kobe
what I'm saying idea of stat padding because he plays on a garbage team.
Had a nice flow.
I never said Kobe was. I said that. I don't. I said I don't call
Hey,
nobody.
Young City, hop on tonight.
That nigga had Sasa
I'll be on
Voyages on this team.
Hold on.
There's no way he can stat pad.
I ain't calling him. I just asked the question because, like I said, I don't believe in that whole stat pad narrative. It ain't no such thing as stat padding.
If the game's already in hand, bro, it's stat padding, bro.
Hey,
No, it's not,
There's
bro.
no other
No,
way
it's
to
not.
call it. There's no other way to
No, it's
call
not,
it.
bro.
If you don't want him to score,
If you losing,
So Devin Booker,
I'm gonna tell you why I know.
He was one of them players that stopped playing at the end of the game.
This is why I know it's not a such thing as stat padding.
Nah, it ain't no stop. If
I was playing in a game.
out there, I'm gonna play my hardest.
No,
bro.
I was in a
I'm not
game.
gonna be in no game.
I was in a
up
game.
30,
It's
man.
like 48 seconds left, and I just coasted in for a layup. That's not what I do, by the way. But I got yanked out because they said your job is to shoot threes. You should have shot the transition three. I said it's goddamn 48 seconds left. The game is over. Nah, your job is to shoot threes. I was like, okay, fuck. So that's when I knew stat padding was fake. I said, shit, you supposed to do your job until the clock
nobody
sounds.
be thinking about no stat pad.
No, but see, y'all are putting in these caveats in these situations that didn't happen last night. The game was already in hand. LeBron
Don't
was out of the
matter.
game. LeBron was out of the game.
does
He checked
matter.
himself back into the game to get that rebound.
Hold on.
If
LeBron
he
checked himself in, or the coach let him check?
The coach, you know what it is.
LeBron be throwing 10 on 2, bro.
Hey, all right, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. So was Stephen Curry and all of them in the game still?
No, they wasn't. They had their starters out the whole
They
fourth
were
quarter.
out of the game.
Nah, but even when
It was in garbage time.
hold on. Matter of fact, good thing you mentioned Steph Curry because LeBron only played one more minute than Steph Curry.
Nigga, that's bogus.
I mean,
so did LeBron James stat pad in that finals versus the Spurs because they was getting blown out every game.
There's no such thing as stat padding.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, if the game is already what are you calling it? When
The game was over in the
hand?
second quarter versus the Spurs in those finals.
Nah, see, bro, that's not you. If you hoop, you know that's not the case.
I call it this, right?
It's the same thing.
Bro, it's not the same thing because in the fourth quarter, when there's 30
Don't want
seconds
them to
left,
score,
bro,
play
and
defense.
you up 30, it's literally impossible for the team.
Okay, so what about that what about that women's team that beat somebody like 160?
Now y'all niggas is bringing out outliers.
Should they have stopped trying to score in the
situation.
second half? The whole second half, it was over with. Should they just stop?
No. I'm
That's
talking
different.
about when there's 30 seconds left and there's no chance of them coming back.
So there's really already no defined idea of what stat pattern is. So now you're saying it's with 30 seconds on the clock.
There's clearly a definition of what it is. You just choosing
What's the
not-
time?
you
What
just
time?
choosing
How
not
much time has to be on the clock for it to be stat pattern?
If you up 30 with I'll say a minute 30 left, and the bench players is in, you don't need to.
So LeBron can do all the scoring he wants up until a minute and 30.
No,
and then
that's not.
everything after that stat pad.
I just put up a minute number. Like if when
When
the
the
game's
bench
already
player-
in, you know they're not coming
You gotta
back.
stop listening to Skip, man.
I remember when Golden State blew a 28-point lead against the Clippers in the playoffs. Remember that?
Who?
I remember when Golden State, when they had Durant, blew a 28-point
I
lead to
remember
the
that when Lou Will
Clippers.
dropped 50.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Because
that
they
was
didn't
an
want
out of
to
hand. That was an out of hand game. And what happened?
They didn't want a stat pad.
Nah, that's apples and oranges, bro. But I see what
They
y'all
was
are
down
doing.
by like
I
20 points in the
get
fourth
what
quarter.
you're
That's
saying,
apples and
dog.
oranges,
I
bro.
understand what you're saying.
Y'all are just
But
being,
when
being
you're an
irrational
athlete
right
and you
now.
getting paid, you go out there and you do your job. Even if you check back in and get a triple double, that's your job. If you in the game,
Nah,
I
your
can
job
go
is
get
points, go get your
I can
rebounds,
go back in the
go
game and
get
get a
your
triple
bag.
double.
LeBron's at a level to where that shit
Now hold
shouldn't
on,
matter,
you
bro.
want me?
The objective should be championships, bro.
I say
And
this is
getting one
stat pad
rebound
right
is not
here.
conducive to being
Hypothetically.
This probably the only time somebody done
Period.
probably stat padded before I could think of. Ricky Davis when he tried to
Thank you.
That's probably the only time.
Because Ricky Davis went. What Ricky
Jamal
Davis
Murray.
did was outside of the game. He did something that nobody naturally
Yeah, what
does.
did he do? Shoot on
He
the
went to
other
the- he
on
went to
the
the
other
rim.
team's basket?
Yeah,
No, he
that-
shot on his own rim.
That was
Oh,
disrespectful.
yeah, on his own rim. Yeah.
Now that's true stat. That's
stat
the true
pad.
definition of stat pad.
And we was in there booing the fuck out that motherfucker.
And because
when
what he did
did
was
it.
he manipulated a stat. LeBron didn't manipulate or do anything. He just did everything within the
Yes, he
scope of the
did.
game.
No, he didn't.
Box
That's
out.
not in the
If
scope of the
they
game,
wanted
bro.
to get that last rebound, they
Y'all
could
can say what y'all want, bro. I'm not running out the point. Y'all know what I'm saying is factual. Y'all just like LeBron. Y'all not finna go with this shit. But all right, I agree to disagree. Y'all know what I'm saying.
True to King
Now
says,
you know how I feel with
King said, go
with
look up the
Carmelo
definition of
Anthony.
stat pad. Hold on, let me look up. I'm gonna see
Yeah,
if
don't
Google
try to
has.
crowbar
Y'all
Carmelo
are just
Anthony
being
back into this
outlandish,
conversation, man.
Oh, bro, like I'm just saying that I don't really do that because if you don't want nobody to score, play
Hold on.
defense, bro.
I'm gonna see what Google says this definition of stat pad is.
It ain't,
Look,
I don't use that. Just like
Yeah, but if I
I
was
knew
on the
Mac Def
Warriors,
was
I
gonna
would
do
have
that.
fouled
I
him.
knew he was gonna
Hey,
do
hold
that.
on. So here's the definition. So, and see, I think I was right because I don't think if you are going to have stat padding, it should not apply to if your team is winning or losing. So basically, it says in sports, stat padding is an action that improves a player's statistics despite being of little benefit to his or her team's chance of winning.
Facts.
So hold on. So that means if you're down 30, you have no business trying to do all this extra shit because you have no chance of winning.
Devin Booker, them 70.
Nah, that's not.
You
just flipped that definition to fit your narrative. Bro.
Hold on. No, I didn't. Hold on. Let me read.
LeBron
I'm gonna continue reading.
LeBron getting one rebound.
Hold on. I'm gonna continue reading it. It says an example would be a gridiron football player throwing long passes with an empty backfield on first down in the fourth quarter of a game in which his team is already losing by a large margin.
Oh, that sounds like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that sounds like Matthew Stafford.
Dak Prescott.
No, I
can also
agree with you. Hey, but look at where they show the origin of stat padding came from. This is where they say the origin of stat padding came from. Stat padding came from online computer games. A group of online players might perform a series of actions which generally require little skill in order to raise a player's statistics. So obviously, the stat pattern is fake. It came from video games.
It came from
the
stat boys
no, bro.
in the
People
back
been
room.
saying the stat pattern, bro.
That's what Wikipedia said. I gotta believe Wikipedia.
Yeah, of course you do.
Man, but I look at it like I look at it like this. Like I don't think it's a such thing as stat pad. I look at it with football too. I don't believe in unsportsmanlike conduct after a nigga score a touchdown. If you don't want to see him celebrate,
Nah, niggas don't stat pad in football because you will get niggas will break your legs doing it.
man, look, if you don't want somebody to celebrate, don't let him score. Simple.
Matthew Stafford made a career off stat padding.
No, but he's a quarterback. When they down, they just let that nigga throw his
quarterback.
I mean, they was down the whole time.
Like I said,
he was stat pad though.
I'm saying it ain't. I don't believe in
when you ahead too.
I don't believe in none of that.
And you don't need to throw.
I remember when
Yeah, of
Jamal
course.
Murray
When you were
talking
headed,
stat
bro,
pad.
in football, it's a totally different culture. Like,
No,
nigga,
no, no. I didn't say. No, I
you try to run up
said.
the score. You try to run up the score in football. Niggas is gonna really hit your little goof ass.
That's
No,
how
I,
Aaron
I,
Rodgers
I
stole
said
the
unsportsman
MVP
like
from
conduct. I
Hove.
didn't say that. I said I don't believe in unsportsman like
Running the
conduct.
score up is analogous to stat padding, bro. It's the same shit.
Hell nah. Hold on. What are you talking about? We used to do that all the time. Shit. And
They
man,
do it
I
in
don't
college
know.
football all the time. That's why you see the score be like
Alabama beats, but
72 to fucking
what?
20.
No,
I'm not
college
saying they don't do
football
it all
about
the
But
time.
style
Alabama
points
be
though
having
in the
their
I'm
third
not saying
rankings.
that.
string
I'm not
game,
saying
boy.
there's nothing.
Yeah,
Running the
that's what I
score
was
up.
gonna say.
There's nothing wrong
It's
with
still
running the
stat
score
padding,
up.
even if it's third
How is
stringers.
that stat
Bruh.
padding when they got their third
It's
string?
So
about
hold on.
style
It's
Hold
not
points in the
on.
stat
So now
padding.
rankings.
stat padding only applies to the stars.
No,
Bruh,
it's
I
not stat.
remember.
If it's still time on the clock, bro, you do your job. I'm
Okay, so
saying
hold on. If
Right.
you're a walk on or if you're a third string guy that never get in the game, you saying with 2 minutes left on the clock, your team's up 40, you're not supposed to try to score?
bro, you conflate my argument. I never said that one
So,
time.
but what I'm
I
saying is
conceded that point. I
you
conceded
only
that point
applying
past
stat
tense.
pattern to stars and it has to be in a minute 30 seconds.
No,
And the team
I'm
has
not
to be
doing
winning.
that.
You
You
can't be
know I'm not
losing.
doing that. You know
You
I'm
putting
not
too
saying
many
No,
that.
I
restrictions
agree.
on them.
I
I'm not
like would
putting no.
agree
You
with
know
dude
exactly what
though.
I'm
I
saying,
Well,
agree
LeBron.
if
with
you
him.
do
There
that,
is
Look,
certain situations where you can
Okay,
stat pad.
so if it wasn't LeBron in the game and they say they
Jamal
brought
Murray
in the
said
last guy
about
on the
1
bench,
second on the
It
what's
don't
the
clock.
matter
difference?
who it
What's
is,
the difference
bro.
between the last guy on the bench doing it and LeBron? Because if the last guy on the bench was doing it, you would never talk about it. But when LeBron does it, now it's a conversation.
No, when LeBron
There's
does it,
more
it's a
glaring.
conversation because if LeBron goes out there and gets
Because
that
it's
rebound,
LeBron. Just say
he gets that
it. God
rebound and comes
damn,
down,
it's just
he comes down
LeBron.
on his ACL.
Because
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 we
the
don't
crazy thing is, it
because
happens
we don't
all the
care about
times with third
empirical.
string guys and guys that
No,
don't play much.
no,
bruh.
bro.
All the
If
time.
you in the third
Yes, it
string,
does.
bro, you
It
get your
happens all the
buckets,
time
bro.
with the third string
If
guys and the guys don't play
LeBron
much.
was in
But
the
stat
game,
pattern does exist though, Lamar.
It doesn't. It doesn't, bro.
it
It
Hold
does.
on.
doesn't.
Okay,
Okay,
so
it does.
if
Let
it
me
does
give you an
exist,
example.
if it
Let me
does
give you
exist,
dumb
then how?
examples.
Okay, then tell me the last.
Kobe Bryant had
No, no, no,
60
no, no. I
point
don't want to hear
third
Kobe.
quarters
I don't want to
Only,
hear Kobe.
so many times. He
hold on.
could have played in the fourth, but he didn't. He would have been.
Oh, somebody's
Only
hold
time
on.
I
This
say
one I want to.
something.
This one I want y'all to answer. I want y'all to tell me the last third string or walk on guy that's stat padded. And if it matters so much, y'all would know who it was because it looks like you only care when the stars do it, not the bench
Nah, it's
players.
not only care. I
Still
only
got a
care
job.
anybody who's a man
He needed them
player on the
points.
team when the
He needed all them points.
game's in hand, bro. When the game's in hand,
Okay, if the
bro.
game's in
You
hand,
check back in where if LeBron was playing the whole fourth quarter, he never went out,
if it
bro.
wasn't
Get your
LeBron, would you
buckets, bro.
care? Would you care or call it stat
No, I
pattern if it
wouldn't
wasn't?
care.
It's not that I even care right
Yes.
now. I'm just saying
Okay,
I'm calling it what it is, bro. He was stat padded last night. I'm
Bro,
not I'm not
the
putting no
only
negative
time in
connotation
NBA
on it.
I
I'm not
history,
putting
would.
no
Russell
positive
Westbrook
connotation
do
on
it.
it. I'm just calling
the
it what it
only
is.
time in NBA history where somebody was like obviously like just stat pattern was Ricky Davis when he went on his own rim and
thank
started
you.
getting a rebound. That's the only time. It's never been any other time somebody stat padded. That's it.
Bro, what LeBron did last
Jamal
night was
Murray
stat
did.
padded, bro.
Okay, hold on. So if Nicholas Claxton for the Nets was
Jamal
scoring
Murray
with
did.
under a minute to go, the Nets are up 30 points. You gonna say Nicholas Claxton is
No,
stat
you got
pattern?
to get your buckets. He got to get his buckets.
Okay, so if Reggie Perry for the Nets is scoring with a minute to go and they up 30, you gonna say that's stat pattern?
No, he got to get his buckets.
Okay, so it only matters
If
when stars do it, right?
it only matters when a focal point of the team
Oh, okay,
is
so
coming in
now
after
That's
the
not
game is
true.
in
That
hand
ain't
for
true.
no
oh my
reason.
god, now it's the
That's
focal
not
point of the
true.
team.
Bro,
That's not
I've
true.
been saying, bro.
This is why
Anytime a
stat pattern
player,
is fake because you can't even put a definition
bro,
on it.
I've been saying the same thing. You just trying to flip it and keep repeating the same question again. I'm not finna not come off what
No,
I've been
there
saying.
is
I've been saying
stat
the same
pattern,
thing for
dog,
the
but it
past
doesn't just
10.
Hold on,
go
he
to
just said
stars.
now. Hold on,
It
now
could
he
go
just
to
I
said
said
third.
the
It could go to
starter. I
bench
went to
hold on,
players
starter,
as
hold on.
focal
well.
point, all. It's the same thing,
Okay,
bro.
so now
Everything I
stat
said is
pad.
the same
So the
thing.
stat pad, y'all, you have to be a starter or a focal point of the team. That's the only way you can
Stat
stat pad.
padding is getting a point, a rebound, assist. It don't so
Box
your
out,
stats can
box
go up.
out, box out, box
Period.
out or play defense. If you don't want them to score, play defense.
Bro, it's stat padded,
That
bro.
too.
Okay, Okay, but hold on. But if it's stat pattern, if it's stat pattern, then why does it only apply to certain players?
It's not conducive to winning, bro.
Okay, so hold on. Right now, so at this stage in his career, can Melo stat pad?
Hell yeah, he doing it now.
hey.
Anytime somebody goes
stat
bro,
pattern.
the game is in hand.
Oh,
You check
Melo out there balling.
bro. When the game
Melo
is
out
already
there
in
balling.
hand. There's no contribution to winning that can
buckets.
possibly happen by you getting one more rebound.
Melo had the most.
Hold on, but that applies to the bench players too, don't it?
No. They
Why?
haven't played the whole game, bro. They go get your bucket. Shit.
So why does it only apply to starters?
Melo's a bench player.
Because, bro, if they go out there and tear they shit up, bro, then that's a problem.
But there's a risk for
Melo
bench players.
Anthony's a
Hold on,
walking
bench players
bucket.
have important roles on teams
But he
too.
comes off the bench.
Bro, I'm in
So what?
garbage time,
Ginobili
bro.
came off the
In garbage
bench.
time, they not putting
John
nobody.
Havlicek
They
came
not
off the
playing
bench.
no.
You
They
need
not
6
playing
man.
no, bro. Yeah, now
I know that.
y'all being
I'm
outlandish.
saying like about this.
No. But the only reason I'm going against it because if you don't have a clear definition of who
I
can and
have
who
a
can
clear
do it,
definition. I've been saying it.
A clear
No, you don't.
definition is when Jamal.
Hold on, you just said stat pattern only applies to the top 6 players on the team, basically.
I didn't say top 6.
Okay, so who can stat pad and who can't?
Bro, anybody in the game, you feel me, that contributed to the win, that's a focal point of the team.
Look.
If them niggas get hurt while they're stat padding, bro, that shit is on them. If you already have the game in hand, bro, there's no reason to go out there and just go get one rebound and come out the game, bro.
Box out.
So you saying not everybody on the team is important?
Bro. Them boxing out and stopping them is not negating the fact that you wasting your damn time to go out there and get one rebound because
So what's the difference between Reggie Perry getting the last points of the game, or let's say a Landry Shamet, a guy who's a focal point who usually plays during the game?
Reggie Perry ain't got to get them.
Bro, the difference is if the game is in hand, like I've been saying before, the game is in hand. You a focal point to the team, and you did your work. You got the W. You did what you came there to do. Not get one more rebound.
Let me ask you a question. Here's a question. This is going to be controversial, especially for the LaMelo Ball fans.
Hey,
hold on. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this. This happened this year. Go back and watch the video. It was at the end of a game. LaMelo Ball had the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He had the ball. The game was won. The game was won already. They were holding it. He didn't want a stat pad. He didn't want a stat pad to a certain degree because if the shot clock went out and he was holding that ball, that's a turnover on him. He ended up intentionally throwing it to one of his other teammates and started laughing because he knew if the shot clock went out and he was holding the ball, he would get the turnover. So he made sure his other teammate got the turnover, not him.
I don't remember that.
Is that stat pattern? Is that
I don't remember that. I need to see the footage. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's keep it
Bro, I didn't even hear what you said.
No, because that time
I wasn't even listening.
I don't know him.
I mean, but he did that intentionally. Cause I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on, is that stat pattern or not? That's stat
bro.
pattern,
Anytime a nigga is doing something that's not contributing to winning, bro.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. You said you didn't hear what I said.
You always do got to debunk stuff.
Hold on.
Stat pattern.
Hold on. You said you didn't hear what I said, so I'm gonna explain it again. LaMelo Ball was at the end of a game. He didn't want to stat. He was doing what you said. He didn't want to stat pad. He was holding the ball, running the shot clock out. But there was more than 24 seconds on the clock. He didn't want to get that turnover by holding the ball throughout the whole shot clock. So when there was like 2 seconds left, he hurried up and flung it to one of his other teammates. I think it was Miles Bridges, so he could get the turnover, not him. Is that stat pattern?
If the game is already in hand, the niggas shouldn't even be on the court.
But he avoided he. This is when he was coming off the bench, though.
It's stat pad.
That was stat pattern, right? So you can stat pad without trying to score.
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
so what was he supposed to do?
That
so
don't got
hold
nothing
on.
to do with what I'm saying, bro.
What, should he have went in and took the layup, or should he have just take the turnover?
Bro, the niggas shouldn't even. If he's coming off the bench, bro, get your buckets. Take the
hold on.
layup.
But that's stat pad. He didn't want to stat pad. If he went and scored the bucket, he would have been
make all these caveats and these outlier situations, bro.
He should have took.
What I said is
but
clear,
if he scores the layup,
LeBron shouldn't have been in the damn game with the last 1 minute and 30 seconds.
If he don't score the layup, he gets the turnover.
Stop with the foolishness. The nigga was that bad. Y'all niggas don't want to admit it, but he was that bad.
Right, if they
I'm not gonna keep having this conversation, bro.
He did though. He did.
Hold on.
You know he stat padded Lamont.
It ain't no such thing as
until you man, shit. I played with some of them dudes. That shit ain't easy. Shit. It's not easy to score on them motherfuckers. I don't care what.
I'm not saying it's easy, bro. I never said that.
I don't know why you comparing LeBron to
championships, bro. That nigga getting one more rebound.
But he just said so. So stat pattern, y'all. So the new definition of stat pattern is if you are a starter or an important bench player,
there ain't no definition.
You cannot score or do anything with a minute and 30 seconds left in the game if your team is up 30.
That's not what I said.
It is a definition to it because in his mind, the definition is LeBron going up for a layup.
See, but y'all are conflating the argument and making.
I'm just talking shit, fam. I understand what you're saying.
This is funny. It's funny as shit.
Y'all know
This is funny because Lamont did this, and he made it egged it on.
Y'all niggas know he was that bad.
Hey,
I bring up a second definition of stat pad. All these JDRs gonna get mad. And Lamar, you've been saying you're gonna drop the footage. You need to, but it's footage out there of Jordan, like he was getting fucked up, and then he was like, "Hey, yo, what's my?" You know what I'm saying? He asked the people.
Oh yeah, I got that footage.
That's that.
Hold on, when Jordan would go to the scoring table in between every quarter and ask what his stats were, so he could buff all his stats.
That's stat pad.
Is that stat pattern?
That's
hell yeah. That's
I give you a better example.
I
give you an even better.
That was
example.
during the game. That was like during the second. Hold on, that was during the first, second, and third quarter.
Anytime this, bro, y'all niggas know, bro, y'all are being childish right now, bro.
Yeah.
If y'all, bro,
we
if
know
it's
what
not,
stat pattern
you
is,
shouldn't
man.
even be thinking about that shit. You think about win or loss. All that other shit don't.
All right, fam. So let me give you another better example. So when Michael Jordan went to the Washington Wizards, what that stat pad?
Man, y'all niggas are being outlandish.
Because if he didn't go there, he would be.
Listen,
if he didn't go to the Wizards, he would be number 7 on the all-time scoring list.
We know what stat pattern
bro,
is,
Michael
man.
Jordan solidified, bro. At that point,
No, I'm just asking you a question.
Bro.
No, Jordan did stat pad with the Wizards.
Look, answer this.
The only stat that matters, bro, is wins or loss, bro. Period. If you already got the game in hand, who give a fuck about a triple double? That's championship shit.
Look, answer this though.
I know LeBron care about that shit because he want to get his 5th MVP.
Hold on,
I think
I said that at the beginning. I said that at the beginning, so I told you. I said that at the beginning.
Was Kobe stat pad in his last game against the Jazz?
No, they needed all them points to win.
Ain't it?
Man, y'all niggas know the definition, bro. Y'all niggas.
Yeah, that game was stat pad. When Kobe scored that 60, dude, that was only like a 2 or 3 point victory for the Lakers. Like that game was mad
scored
close.
the 81. They needed that too.
They went to overtime in that game.
Y'all niggas just not being objective.
We know what stat pattern is. Lamont egged it on, and it was just funny.
No, I'm just talking shit, fam. I know.
Lamont egged that shit on. It was funny as shit.
My thing is, if you're gonna have stat pattern, it has to apply to everybody on the court. You can't just say a certain group of people have to follow this rule.
You said Michael Jordan couldn't stat pad because he solidified, but LeBron solidified too. So wouldn't that conflate your argument?
No, it doesn't conflate my argument. Because Michael
Jordan
Jordan playing for the Wizards, bro. That's
no. Hold on, but what
that shit for stat reasons?
No, but what about when Jordan was asking about his stats in between every quarter?
He shouldn't be doing that shit because it's not. All that matters, bro, is wins and losses. If niggas is out there worried about stats and shit during the game, you feel me? That shouldn't even be their focus at all.
But I really would be worried about my stats though. I ain't gonna lie. If I was close to a triple double, I'm gonna go and give me a rebound.
Anytime
back to the original.
Anytime you get close to a triple double, you're gonna go try to get it.
Championship acumen. That worried about your stats and shit is not no championship shit.
But every great player worries about.
Yeah, but it's just a regular season game. You overinflating one rebound to complete a triple double. Like that doesn't mean that they not focused on winning a ring.
I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying when you put stuff in the context, bro, there's no reason for the nigga to go back in the game and get the rebound, bro.
Why is it? But when you already there, so you made it to the 11th grade and you dropped out of high school.
Bro, what the fuck, bro? What is this, bro? What?
Because if you one rebound away from a triple double, you might as well just go out there and get it.
Hold on, if you're one rebound away from a triple double, almost every coach in the league is gonna let you go in and try to get that triple double.
And you notice when he got that rebound, and you notice when he got that rebound when everybody was clapping when he got that rebound.
And that's the reason why the league is the way the shit is now, bro.
Why?
These niggas is focused on numbers and shit, bro. That shit don't matter, bro.
Niggas been focused on numbers.
So what's the name? Was it? So
that's what that shit should not matter, bro. It's
always been that way. It's always been that way. So when Will Chamberlain was scoring 50 points, 30 rebounds, and 20 blocks, he wasn't worried about his stats.
Nah,
he's doing 15, bro. I'm not putting that shit in the context, bro. Y'all niggas is just outlandish right now.
Hey, let's change the subject. We fuck with this, bro.
Hey, y'all, hold on.
Y'all are really capping for this, nigga.
Hold on. We about to shut it down anyway, though, man.
That nigga got cooked. He got
We're about to shut it down, man. Appreciate y'all for coming in, man. At least we know
Carmelo
what.
always had championship mentality. Y'all remember
Nah,
that
he
in the
didn't.
chat.
Nah,
in
No,
the
he
channel,
didn't, because
man.
the nigga,
No, he didn't.
Don't let
No, he
Lamont
didn't.
talk you out of that
and
shit.
check back in the game to score 30, nigga.
What Lamont? I'm finna cook Lamont.
Hey, Mello need to get back in the game and get some warm up shots or something, man, because that motherfucker shit. That 9 points tonight looked terrible. Dame had to put 50 points up just to save him by 1 point.
Did they win?
Hold on, Dame had to
Yeah, they
save him.
won.
Did they win?
How
Yes, they
come Mello?
won.
How come Mello didn't do his job and
Yes,
be a
they
scorer?
won.
All he
Did
has
they
to do is score the
Man,
ball.
y'all niggas think everybody that's not capping for LeBron is a Jordanite. Nigga, I like LeBron more.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Nah,
That's,
I ain't gonna sit here and
I
make
keep
that
it
argument
real,
against
nigga.
you because I know you was
yeah,
arguing for LeBron. So we
hey, that's
not
what I
saying
said.
that.
I know. Stand on business now.
No,
Like,
we not saying that about
I
you
keep
at
I'm
all.
objective
hold
with
on.
everybody, bro. I'm
Hey,
not
J
no
Mark,
fan of
look,
no
J
player.
Mark, look what J
I
Mark said.
like
He said,
LeBron more than I like
J Mark said,
Jordan.
for the record, LeBron didn't check himself back in. He was already in the game. He simply came back out after a timeout, got the rebound, then came out. Why do lie so much? Ooh,
Hey,
that's a good point.
If he was already in the game, it's not stat padding, bro.
Oh,
Man, so you didn't even see it,
You
man.
not
Come
see?
on, man. You listening to Skip Bayless?
Bro, you
Nah, it
done
wasn't.
messed it
It wasn't no business.
all.
Hey,
Skip Bayless.
shut your channel down, fam.
It wasn't no
Yeah,
necessarily
Shut
Skip
man.
Bayless.
We got everything on tape, bro.
If
Shut
he
your
told
was
channel.
y'all we
if
done
he nah
cooked
if
them.
he didn't if the nigga
Oh,
didn't
you
check
done
back
cooked
in
us.
the game, if he didn't check back in the game, it's not stat padding. If he was already playing, it's not stat padding.
Yeah,
It's
he
a
was
show,
in there.
man. We can't
But
even argue.
you gotta shut your channel down, homie.
We gotta
Hey, the whole argument.
put him in timeout or something, man.
It ain't no shut the channel down, bro. It's
Hey,
Say what
J
you
Mark do
mean,
be
mean
coming
what you
through with
say,
the
because that's
facts.
what
See,
you mean.
Nah,
J
Y'all
Mark,
whole argument
J Mark
bogus.
always come
I
through with the
stand
facts.
corrected if he was already in the game still, that's not stat padding.
hey, what
J
you
Mark,
call it?
J Mark came through at the end with the facts.
Lonzo Ball
Changed
was
his whole mind.
with that triple double today.
Somebody said
Look,
LeBron.
Only thing that's left to do now is just apologize to LeBron and hit the like button on your way out.
Man, hey LeBron, if you not out there stat padding, bro, I salute
Oh shit.
you. Get
Y'all
get
too
them
much,
W's,
man.
bro.
Oh man.
Salute to the panel, man. I'll check y'all out.
All right, y'all. Hey, we
Brooklyn
gonna
Nets
shut it down.
2021 champions. Brooklyn Nets 2021 champions.
All right, man.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck with that. Oh man. All right, we gonna get up out of here for the day, man. It's a great stream. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Probably tomorrow we got some NBA trade prediction videos dropping, so make sure you check those out as well before the live stream. We're gonna be live again, probably a little bit earlier, but we definitely gonna be going live tomorrow. Probably gonna be doing a little bit more NCAA tournament talk since we're getting closer to that time. But hey, y'all, it's been another good stream. Make sure you guys check out all the new videos. And also, if you haven't started with FanDuel yet, and you want to get started with FanDuel, I'm gonna give you guys a link to use where you can start with $10 free. Let me put it in the chat before we get up out of here. So again, if you've been curious to get on FanDuel and you just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, now is the opportunity to get on there. Here's a referral link to try it out. So basically, you get $10 free when you use that link. So make sure you hit that link. Join FanDuel. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. And then they have multiple tournaments. So if you're a novice and you ain't really played a lot of FanDuel yet, they got tournaments just for people who just signed up. So you're not really jumping right in with the people who really do this and they really experienced it with it. So you can jump in some matches where you can still win money, but you're going against people on your same level with FanDuel. So make sure y'all check out that link. Join FanDuel, get $10 free. Hey, but other than that, man, it's FYF Sports, man. We'll be back tomorrow. But we up out of here.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months. What's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months. What's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings. We all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub, 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub, 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings. We all know who the real